Hello, 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 Tanya. Hello, Kathy. Welcome, everyone. Please say hi as you jump on. Let me know you're here. And of course, as always, let me know what is in your cup. I'm having my chai rooibos herbal tea. Lovely. I love this stuff. How are you guys doing today? Please let me know how you are. I'm so excited for this club. I think it's so stinking cute. So we're going to have a lot of fun. All right. Sweet peach tea from Alabama in your cup. That's awesome. Hey, Phyllis. Kathy's having her Mike's lemonade. So glad to have all you guys on. Please say hi as you jump on. If for any reason I am not chatting back with you, I may not be seeing your comments. So every once in a while we have issues with that with Facebook. So I do apologize for that. You can always text me if for some reason I miss talking to you about something on here that you wanted, that you ask a question about. You can always do that. I'm more than happy to talk with you via text or whatever. After the video, but yeah, I'm hoping I can see everybody today. So usually on the club videos I don't have as much of a problem, so please say hi as you jump on. I'd love to know who all is joining us live today. And of course, if you're watching this later as a replay, you know, you can comment on that as well. Hello, Kathy Sanford. And remember that your comments get you in the comment drawing for free product as well here on the live, and as well as the ones that you do on the replay, because I do a replay drawing as well. So, oh no. Like just now? He just spilt your iced tea just now? Hey, Ruthie. Hello, Jean. Oh my goodness, that's not cool. You had a really good sweet peach tea and he spilled it. Oh gosh. Oh no. Oh, Phyllis, you're saying your husband spilled your iced tea. That's what's happening. Okay, I thought that was, I'm getting confused. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hopefully he didn't spill it on your projects. Like, that would be really bad. Because then he's in big trouble. Oh, goodness. So glad to have all you guys here today. Oh, thank you, Jean. Yes, yes. For anybody who doesn't know, I did earn the Alaska trip. So, excited about that. And I'm excited to, I don't get to start earning the next trip until October, but the next trip is Costa Rica. So I'm excited about that one. So I've always wanted to go to Costa Rica. So yeah. Very, very excited. Very excited about Alaska. An Alaskan cruise has been on my bucket list for a long time. And it just never has happened because of, you know, just life. And so we're very excited to be doing that. So it's so cool that you get to go out for family lunch well, I don't know how often you do it, Phyllis, but at least every week. I just love that. I just think that's awesome. So thank you, Kathy. Hey, Pauline. All right. So good to have everybody on. So we, hopefully if you're watching this as a replay, you've skipped forward a little bit. We're going to go ahead and get started. I always try to give everybody a few minutes to jump on the live, but let's go ahead and get going on this. So today we are doing the Sweet Jar Club. So if you purchase the kits, of course you'll have the kits. We'll go over that in a minute. If you only purchase the PDF, then you've got that and you can cut your own stuff and make your own kits, which is nice too. Of course, even if you purchase the kit, you also get the PDF for free with that. So if you ever want to make more, you've got the recipes for that as well. We're going to be using the Sweet Jar stamp set today. Now there is an extra free gift in your packet that looks like this, and I'm trying to remember, I think, I don't think, hold on, what did I do with it? I'm pretty sure the free gift only went to, every once in a while I give it to everybody, but usually it only goes to the, yeah, so only the people who are actual subscribers got the gift. So if you're not a subscriber, you won't have this, but if you are a subscriber, you'll have this extra card kit that we'll be making this card with, and you've got some options with this. I did use some inks that I didn't use in the regular stuff, but you don't have to. You can use the Daffodil Delight if you want to. We'll get to that later, but we will do this one as well after we put these together. And then for those of you that aren't used to this, I'm just kind of giving you a blow by blow here. So we'll do the 4 cards, we'll do the extra gift one, then I'll do the announce who won the pre-drawing for free gifts. I will do the announcements, and then we'll do the live comment drawing, and then we will do the layout. That way, if you don't want to stick around, excuse me, if you don't want to stick around for the, got hiccups already. If you don't want to stick around for the layout, you don't have to, but if you want to, of course, you are always welcome to, whether you purchased it or not. Okay, so starting off, let me go over everything you're going to want to have going here. So with the Sweet Jar stamp set, oh, I'm sorry, I know what I was about to say. If you have the Jar of Joy, you can, of course, use this as well if you want to use a different jar or a different lid or some part of the sentiments you want to do differently. I mean, there's things you can use. And of course, this is just a really great set to have in conjunction with this. And if you don't have the punch, that's another thing. So these 3 all coordinate, which is really nice. And you can buy these 2 together as a bundle and save 10%. Okay. So I am going to be doing some cards with this at a later date. So if you guys haven't purchased the Jar of Joy yet and you want to do those cards in the future with me, you might consider going ahead and purchasing that at some point. If you want to purchase it through me, I'd appreciate that. And then the extra card kit that we're going to be doing, I did use the Be My Valentine stamp set with that. Do you have to? No. You don't need it, but if you happen to have it, this little piece right here will be beneficial for the envelope. Again, it's not a requirement. It's just one of those things that, you know, is nice if you have it. So, if you have that handy and you want to grab it, I just wanted to let you guys know. Okay. So hold on. Whoops. Let me grab this. So let me move these out of the way for just a second here. And that, and this. Okay. So in your kit, you have the project kits. If you are a subscriber, you got the free gift, and then everybody also got with their club the full package of iridescent faceted gems and a full package of the Florals in Bloom Designer Series paper. So there's not really anything that goes with the Swedish jar as far as paper goes, but I found that I was able to use this really nicely with this set, so I loved the background colors in this paper, so that's what we ended up using. So you do have all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I've already opened up my paper. If y'all want to do that, of course you can. I'm going to open this up so I have it handy for later. Okay, so there's our embellishments. I'm going to move that kit over here for now. Okay, now in this stamp set, you're going to want to have several of these ready if you can. If you can't, then like I said, if you don't have as many blocks as I do and you don't want to put them all out right now, you don't have to. You can go along as we go. But I'm just going to point out the stamps that we are using. So we're using Happy Birthday, we're using Sweetness, Love, and Luck, and we're using this Sending a Little Blank Your Way. This is a single stamp. For anybody that didn't already know that. We're also going to be using the Jar of the Lid, all of these big stamps, so all 5 of these, the 2 candle stamps. I'm using this like burst candle flame. You can use this if you prefer. I just like the burst because it allows me to do every single candle, including the single candle. And then I'm also using the single clover. You can also use some of the single hearts if you want to. I didn't end up using those, I don't believe, but you can of course do that as well. So those are, it's a lot of the stamp set that we're going to be using. There's a few stamps that I didn't end up using, but the vast majority of it I tried to make use of. And so we'll be having a lot of fun with that. So if you want to prep those, you can go ahead and, like I said, put them on blocks, or you can do it as we go. Okay. So in your kit, I'm just going to show you, because I think we had a couple of newbies that have never done this with us before, so I just want to make sure. This is the same as my class, I always flip it over so that all of the goodies are in order and ready to go. So in here is the PDF for this. Now if you purchase the kits, you're getting the PDF. So you've got this in your email box, you also got it in the kit itself. And so this first page tells you all of the things I used to make these kits. And also has some tools here, your free gift, and your $20 or more in product. I think it turned out to be 21.5 maybe this time or something. I can't remember. Anyway, and then you have the 2 pages of recipes. There's also a recipe in the free gift, but it is a half sheet, just so you guys are aware. So you've got all the recipes for the 4 cards. Okay, now we are going to need these because this tells you all the pieces that I've already cut and made for you, but then it also has the stuff that's coming from your paper and your iridescent dots, and so that'll help you with knowing what you're going to be using. We'll go along together though, just in case there's any kind of like mistakes or anything in there that I may have made. Who knows? All right, in here we have a 1/4 of a sheet of our strips, our foam strips that we're going to be using for our shaker card. So I'm going to set those aside. We also have the shaker bits that I'm going to set with that. Then we have this little packet that I'm going to open. If you have some kind of a tray or a bowl, I recommend popping all of this in there just so you don't lose any of the little pieces. All right, and then you have the rest of your kit. Now we do have an extra piece of white in here in case any of the like white pieces in here that that you stamp on, you make a mistake. Probably you won't, because these are the clear stamps, which make it so much easier to stamp. But if you do, there's an extra piece of white in there for you. And if you don't use it, of course you can just, you know, use it for something else that you make yourself. Okay, on part of the first page of the PDF, sorry I forgot about this, also tells you the inks and the blends that I used. So let me just go over those real quickly because you're going to want to have those out. So in alphabetical order, not use order, we've got Crumb Cake, Daffodil Delight, Early Espresso, Garden Green, Granny Apple Green, Petunia Pop, Smoky Slate, and Strawberry Slush. I also did grab the crushed curry for the bonus card. Do you have to use crushed curry? No, you can use Daffodil Delight if you want. It's not going to be as clear if you do, but if you don't have the honeycomb stamp, it's not going to matter anyway. So don't worry about it if you don't have it. Okay. If you do have the honeycomb stamp, you might want to use it. So, all right. And then you have, of course, the 4 kits already ready to go in order. So I'm just going to set these aside. So we've got those ready to go. And this is our first card here that we're going to be making. It's the happy birthday card. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the cutting that we need to do for this one. So from your paper pack, grab all this out here. So from your paper pack, you're going to grab the back sheet here, the purple, and then the one right in front of that, which is the blue. So we're mostly using, well, we are using these designs on the back. We're not using the front of this paper for this project, for this kit. We're using all of the back papers. So this is what we'll be using the whole time. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do, cut both of these. So let me grab my trimmer here, and we're going to pop these in. The purple one is kind of it doesn't really have a direction, but this one does, the blue one. So I'm going to pop that one on top, and I'm going to cut this at 1 1/4. So we've got our lines going up and down. I'm going to cut it 1 1/4. And then I'm going to rotate and cut that at 4. I'm just making sure everything is together here for both of these pieces. We want to cut them the same. Okay. So you have both of those pieces ready to go. Okay. Then I'm going to grab the rest of my kit here. I'm going to pull all this out. I'm going to need my envelope to stamp on. I'm also going to need the, where is it? I guess it's in here. We have a single jar here and a lid. So those are both from the punch. So you should have a white lid and a white jar. Okay. Oh, and the other thing in here, there should be, yep, here we go. There's a yellow banner piece that we're going to cut here in a second. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our stamping. Oh, by the way, you're also going to need your black ink. Sorry, I didn't mention that earlier. So we are going to need the black ink. So I'm going to be using my Memento Tuxedo black ink and my Smoky Slate. Those are the two colors I want to start with. So I'm going to start with, actually let's start with the Smoky Slate instead of the black. Sorry about that. I should have done that first. So let's start with the Smoky Slate. We're going to grab our jar stamp. Hey Jeffrey. Did anybody else join that I missed? Is there anybody I didn't say hi to? Say hi now if I haven't said hi to you. Okay, so we have our Smoky Slate, and we're just going to ink up our jar. And we're going to stamp that on this piece. Just like that. Mine's a little off. That's okay. Life will go on. And then I'm going to stamp on my envelope. Okay. I'm not going to worry about wiping that one off because I'm going to be using the exact same thing in a little bit. Okay. So then I'm going to take the black and the lid. And as you can see here, I just stamp it kind of off to the side on the envelope. So you can do that. Just stamp it like it's laying up against it. Or you could lay it straight if you want to on the tabletop or the ground or whatever you want to call that. All right, and then I'm also going to ink my lid piece here. If I can get that off. There we go. Ta-da! Okay. So there are those two. Oh, and I'm sorry, I forgot one other thing. We also need this little blue piece from our little bag of tricks here. Sorry, I forgot about their sentiment. So we're going to grab the Happy Birthday sentiment. And I'm going to ink that up in black as well. And I want to put it in the middle of the sentiment piece. Just like that. Ta-da! Okay. All right, so that's all the black. Next part we're going to do, I'm just going to set those over there. So the next part we're going to do is the candles, and we're going to need 3 colors. Sorry, technically 4 colors for this. We'll be doing the flames in Daffodil Delight, but the candles themselves are in Petunia Pop, Granny Apple Green, and Strawberry Slush. So those are the 3 colors for the candles. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Petunia Pop. Now you're going to want to make sure to have something you can clean your stamps off with handy, because you're going to have to clean in between colors. Also, I have 2 stamps here, the 3 candles and the single candle. We need both of those for this. Okay, so we're going to start with the Petunia Pop candles, and I'm sorry, the 3 of them, and we're going to go ahead and just stamp the 3 there. And we're going to do the same thing over here. 3 candles. I'm going to clean this off. Now, it's probably easier to just leave your stamp ink out for the moment because we are going to be going back to the petunia pop. I can talk in just a second. So if you want to leave that out, by all means do. I'm going to move my mouse up there. Okay, so then we're going to move on to the, let's see, next color is green. So we need our Granny Apple Green. But I know it's been raining all week here too. So it's been raining all over the country. Hey Brenda, there you are. Hello Kathleen. Yeah, it's been rainy here all week, so I understand. Okay, so now we're going to take that 3 candle one and we're going to grab our Granny Apple Green and we're going to we're going to stamp that right next to the Petunia Pop. So it's basically in the middle of the jar. Okay, clean that off again. And the last color is Strawberry Slush. And so I'm just gonna ink that up and we're gonna stamp our Strawberry Slush candles on this side. Just like that. Okay? All right. Now we're gonna move to, this is just not in a good spot. Okay. Now we're gonna move to, I've got too much on my desk. Okay, now we're gonna move to our single, did I just put my, no, okay. I'm gonna bring this over here just so you can see what I'm doing. We're gonna move to our single candle and we're going to stamp the Petunia Pop again, but this time we're gonna move over here to in between these the Strawberry Slush candles. So I'm gonna stamp this one in this little blank spot right there. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. And then I'm going to clean that off. We're done with Petunia Pop now. We're going to move on to our Granny Apple Green. And we're going to put that right in between the Petunia Pop ones. So we're basically just rotating where it is. So I'm just going to stamp that right in the middle of, of those. All right. And we're done with the green. And the last color here is the Strawberry Slush. And so you can see right where that goes, right in the middle. Isn't this so cute? I love this design that they did, where you can play around with the colors of candles that you put together. So cool. Or you can just do all solid ones if you want to. I just like having the ones that are striped in there too. So I like doing the triple candle one. And of course you can always cut this image too if you want to. It would be kind of hard to cut these two apart, but you could definitely cut these two and this single one apart if you wanted to. So that's always an option. Okay, so that's it for Strawberry Slush. And now we are going to grab our Daffodil Delight and the single. I love the single candle flame that has the burst for this because I can do each individual candle. Now if you want to use the other one, by all means you can. It's going to be a little harder to get those candles that are in the middle. You'll have to do like a single flame off of that stamp, but this way you can just hit each one of these separately. I'm just putting it right above the wick. And it just looks so cute. Ta-da! That's a lot of birthday candles. Okay, so we'll do the same thing here. Just get every birthday candle. It's like a fire hazard. That's why they put it in a jar, so it wouldn't be. No. Oh my gosh. Okay. There we go. I know, I'm crazy. It's fine. Okay. We're done with our Daffodil Delight. So our envelope is done. and our pieces, these pieces are done being stamped. So now we're going to move on to our cutting. So as you can see, I did something special here with this card. I took this small banner and I made it look like it was longer just by cutting it. So we're really honestly going to just cut it in half. You can use your scissors, you can use your trimmer, it's up to you. So you can just pop this in your trimmer and bam, it's done. Okay, or you can use your scissors if you prefer. All right, we're also going to cut this piece. We need to pin it the ends. So if you have never done that before, I will show you how to do that. Super easy. You just want to go up the center. I don't have the DSP cloud cover or the yellow banner. You don't have the DSP. Wait. What? That's not possible. There was DSP in everybody's kit. So it should be this, you should have gotten the Florals in Bloom paper. And what else? The yellow banner. The yellow banner and this piece are in your little packet. Your little bag of goodies that you get. Okay? All right. There shouldn't be anything missing. Everybody had everything when I packed it up. So please let me know. Okay. So we're just going to pin it this. You just go up the middle and then from this corner to the top of that cut and this corner to the top of that cut on both sides. Sorry, I was talking and I didn't explain. Hopefully everybody knows how to do that. Okay. Computer has been acting up and not allowing me to comment. I had to do a complete restart. Oh my gosh, Kathleen, I'm so sorry. If you got the layout, it's behind the layout. If you got the layout. Oh, somehow yours ended up behind your layout? That's funny, because usually it's in front of it. But it should have all been in your card kits, so. Oh, you're saying the paper. The paper's behind the layout. Yes. Sorry, Pauline. Thank you for that. I just realized what you were saying. You were talking about the designer series paper. Okay. It's been dry and cool in Pennsylvania. Well, you're lucky. It's been super rainy here. That's funny. Okay. So now we have all of our pieces. We can put this kit together. So, or this card together. So I'm going to go ahead and just dump all the rest of these pieces out here. We're going to go ahead and just fold our card base. Did you find the pieces, Kathleen? I really hope you find them. You're stressing me out, girl. I know they were in there when I put them in the thing. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right, so we're going to add these pieces. I did do a specific order. If you want to change it, that's, of course, your prerogative. But we're going to start with the Granny Apple Green down here at the bottom. And I recommend that you do it in this order that I'm about to tell you. So I'm going to start with this piece. This has been run, sorry, hiccup, through the Soft Waves folder. No, took everything apart. Did you maybe misplace it? Is that possible? Like, did you set it away from everything else? Because I didn't. Okay, so we're going to add this one. You want to put it at the bottom of the card, and you want the area basically top and bottom to be, sides and bottom to all be equal. Just like that. And then we're going to take the blue one and put it here at the top, okay? You just opened as I began, and the paper isn't in there. How is that possible? I mean, it's a whole paper pack, and everybody got one. Huh. And I know yours weighed the same amount as everybody else's, so that's weird too. Like, was there something wrong with your package when it got to you? All right, then these next two pieces we're going to put in here and try to get them equal distant from these two pieces. So basically, if it's the same way all the way around the outside, it's going to look better. And so that's why I always start with those two pieces, and then I can add the middle two pieces after that. So I'm going to go ahead and for these pieces that I have embossed like this one's been done with the plaid, I do try to go all the way around the piece just so it doesn't bubble at all. Okay, the paper pack, this paper pack looks like this, okay? This is the Florals in Bloom paper, okay? We're just using the back side. So the Florals in Bloom paper will be behind your layout if you got the layout. When I put it in the box, it's usually at the bottom, okay? Then these two pieces, the yellow piece and the blue piece that you were talking about missing, those were in the little baggie that's inside the card kits. Okay? So let me know if you have any problems with that. Oh! Okay, so yes, Kathy, yours is cut in half because you never buy the layout, but she often buys the layout. So she usually has a full pack. I don't remember off the top of my head if you bought the layout with this one, Kathleen, but if you did buy the layout, then it'll be a full pack. I'm able to send it full. If you guys ever only buy the cards, I do cut it in half to make it cheaper for you to ship it to you. Because if I don't cut it in half, I'm gonna have to charge you more shipping, and most of you don't want to pay that. Some of you do, you request it, but if you don't request it, I'll cut it in half just to save you guys shipping. Okay. Because most of you don't want to pay $5 extra shipping. Some of you do, and that's fine. I get it. I want my paper whole too. Okay. But unfortunately, shipping is expensive. So we're going to add this piece now. The larger blue piece. This is from the paper. The large blue piece you cut from the paper. As do you cut this one from the paper. The little pieces were in the... No problem, Kathleen. You found it. I'm so glad you found it. Yeah, she usually gets the layout. Not always, but most of the time. Okay. It's okay, Kathy, you were just trying to help, and that is totally fine. I appreciate all of you who tried to help. I appreciate that. Okay, so we have to help each other, right? Like, I mean, that's just the way it is. It's always good to help each other. Okay. So now we have the 4 pieces on. We're going to add the rest of this. So the way I do this part, I recommend grabbing your silicone craft sheet. By the way, I usually call this a silicone mat. It is technically called a silicone craft sheet. It's fine. It's just what I call it. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive at the top and a little bit of adhesive right here. Okay. And we're going to flip this. So this is upside down. So then I'm going to flip this upside down. Actually, it's easier if you do it like this. So I'm going to put this down. And I'm going to put that right in the middle. And you don't need it to be like the whole thing sticking up. You just need a little bit of it sticking up, right? Okay. And then I'm going to put that piece down and I'm going to do the same thing. Just center it. It's pretty easy to center because you just kind of line up the points. Just like that. And now you have this piece that looks like it's significantly longer than it actually is. Then we're going to flip that over and we're going to add dimensionals to this. What do you call a depressed strawberry? A blueberry. That's funny. I'm just going to use some of these bigger pieces I happen to have. But, you know, just add some dimensionals to the back, wherever you want to put them. I'm just going to use these ones up that I have. make sure you get some on the yellow too. Okay, wherever you want to put them. That's hilarious. My husband will love that. He loves silly dad jokes like that, of course. Okay, I guess I've been married to him long enough, I do too. No. Okay, so then we're going to take this piece and we're going to add this over to the right on our card. Hopefully straight. Just like that. Okay, and then we're going to take our little candle piece, our little jar, and we're going to add this right up here. We want to add it a little bit higher than lower because we are going to put that sentiment across the bottom. But we do need to leave a little bit of space for our jar lid that we're just going to kind of teeter right there. I'm going to use my green glue for this just because it's fairly narrow. So I'm just going to... Any other good dad jokes? Especially any that, you know, go with this theme. I should start doing that. Try to pick up dad jokes that go with the theme. All right, so we have our little jar, and then we have our happy birthday sentiment here, and I'm just going to add some adhesive to the center, not all the way to the ends because those are going to stick off the edge, and I'm just going to lay that across right underneath the bottom of the candles. You can even cover the bottom of the candles if you want to. Just like that. Ta-da! Okay, and then we're going to grab our beautiful iridescent faceted gems. I go through so many of these, you guys. Oh my gosh, I love these so much. So we're going to do, there's two sizes, so I'm going to do a large and a small up here, and then whichever size you want to do down here. Okay, just like that. Ta-da! Isn't that beautiful? So cute. There is our birthday card. All right. Number 2 is this one right here. This is our heart card, our shaker card. Love it. So we're going to put that one together next. Okay, let's start with our stamping. So we are going to need one of these jars and one of the lids, just as before. You're also going to need this little circle piece here. Okay, now this is one of the places in this particular kit where you're going to need a special tool. I hope everybody has a craft knife of some kind. Whether you have, you know, an X-Acto knife, or you're using our craft knife tip that goes on our, it doesn't matter, just some kind of craft knife. If you don't, this can be done with scissors also, and I will point out how to do that, okay? But I do think it's easier with the craft knife, just my personal opinion. But yes, it's fine either way. Okay, so from our kit, we're going to grab all these pieces out. Don't lose your clear piece. That can get lost really easily, so be very careful. And we're going to need the envelope to stamp on. Okay, so let's do our stamping. So we're going to pop our envelope up here and our jar, and we're going to grab that smoky slate ink again for our jar. What did the shoes do? Wait, what kind of shoes do frogs wear? Flippers? No. Crocs? I don't know. That's interesting. Hey, Andrea. I don't know. I'll let everybody else have a chance to try to come up with an answer. Okay. So we're going to grab our jar stamp. Open-toed shoes. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's funny. So we're going to go ahead and stamp our jar on our envelope again and on our piece here. Ta-da! Just like that. And same thing with the lid as before. going to grab our Memento black ink, and we're going to stamp. This time we're going to put the lid on top of the jar on the envelope, if I can get it inked up well enough. Just like that. And we have our jar lid here. Anybody else have a good dad joke? Surely somebody else has a good dad joke. My husband tells them all the time, but I can never remember them. When he started at his new job in December, it's remote, and so he works from home. He kind of has already started a culture of telling dad jokes on their online platform that they use. Oh, wait, don't get rid of your black yet. And so, yeah, he's constantly finding new dad jokes. So I'll have to tell him both of those. Oh, looks like my piece has a little piece still stuck in it. Let me grab, oops, wrong one. If you have any little pieces that didn't get weeded out, you can pop those out. Okay, so we're going to use the split sentiment here that says sending a little blank your way. And we're going to ink that up in black. Sorry, I'm pulling it towards me so I can see what I'm doing. And stamp that as well. And then we're going to grab our Strawberry Slush ink. And we're going to stamp love in the center of this. So I've got my love. Nope, that's luck. It's also not in the middle of the stamp, so it's kind of off to the side. We've got love here. So I'm going to ink that up in the Strawberry Slush. I love this color. I'm not even a pink person, but I love this color. It just totally reminds me of a strawberry daiquiri. I think that's why I like it. All right, so we have our love, and then we're also going to stamp our hearts. So for this, we're going to take this heart stamp right here that has all the little hearts, and we're just going to ink that up. You could also choose to use petal pink or real red for this. If you want to use another color, it's fine. I just didn't want to require that you guys have too many colors. This particular club does have a lot of ink colors, so I try to limit them as much as I can. But there's a lot of different themes here, so I had to do what I had to do. Okay, so I went ahead and went with the Strawberry Slush. It is in the card, so it works just fine. Now, if you want to use some of those single hearts, you know, coming up out, you can totally do that too. So let me just show you what that would look like. There's two different ones, but let's just pretend we'll use this one for right now and pretend that I didn't put that away. And so you can have hearts coming up out of it if you want to. It's closed, so I don't know how they'd be coming up out of it, but nonetheless, you get the idea. So, okay. You can do the 2 or the 3 or both or whatever. It's completely up to you guys how you want to do that. Okay. So that is all of the stamping. Now I'm going to take my Stampin' Pierce mat, or if you have a self-healing mat, you can flip that over. And it's really easy to cut this out. With your X-Acto knife, you're just going to go around basically where this outside edge is that you see here. That's kind of what I'm using as my point of reference. And so I'm just going to use that to figure out approximately how far apart to cut. And so I'm just going to cut, oops. That open. Now, if you don't have an X-Acto knife, you can use some kind of like your puncture tool to puncture the center, and then use your scissors to cut an X, right? And then cut around So that's also an option. So either way works fine. I'm just going to go ahead and use this because I feel like it makes a nice clean line. And so I'm just cutting around. I kind of do this almost like up and down thing, and it makes it very smooth. Especially when you're going around something round or curved. All right, pops that right out. Okay, I've got some punch mess I can see. So if at any point you don't like how that works out, you can also take your scissors, and I can see here I had a little bit of a bump, and I can always adjust. You want to get it perfect before you go to the next step. So I'm just going to get any little extras that I might have, or if I feel like I did a bad job somewhere, I can fix that up. Just like that. Okay. So there's that piece. Now we're going to take, just close that for a minute. I don't like having that open. So now we're going to take this piece and we're going to add this to our red piece that we have in our kit for this card, and we're going to add that on there. And don't forget to leave enough room for this this lid. Also, I am going to have it be up a little bit further than down, just because I'm going to be overlapping the circle and I don't want it to cover up too much of the jar. But if you want to go straight up center, you can also do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to add some glue to this rim that we've now created, this like frame basically. You don't want too much because you don't want it to squeeze out, so do a very fine line or little dots. Alright, so I'm just going to pop that on there, like so. Make sure that sticks everywhere. I'm going to add my lid on here while I'm at it. They didn't come out, they want to go in. Now the sun's out, time to go. Oh. It's always fun to go jump in the puddles, right? My daughter, she's still like me in some ways, and not in other ways. She's more like my husband in other ways, but she, by the way, if you want to use this piece that you cut out for something, of course you can, but I'm just going to throw it in my recycle bin. Okay, so then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to go back to my mat and again cut that out, that middle part out. Now, if you would rather use your scissors, go for it. It's fine. But I'm going to use the X-Acto knife because I just feel like I can get a little bit closer to the line. So now I can just follow this line exactly. Anyway, it rained really bad, torrential rain the other day, and they had like rivers going down their street. And so she, and she's 24. What year is this? Yeah, she's 24. She turned 24 in April, and her best friend, who's like our third child, because they've been best friends since they were like 10, they went outside and played in the torrential rivers while it was raining. I mean, it wasn't even like, it was still raining, so I was like, how old are you? It was so funny. And she's like, never grows up, just like me. I feel like I've always been a child. Like, I sold toys when my kids were little. I did Discovery Toys for anybody who knows what that is. It's like, I told everybody, I just never grow up. I just want to play with toys forever and ever. I like being a kid. It's fun. Okay. And again, if you want to clean this up, you can clean it up, you know, 2 different ways. This is one of those things that you can, you know, do one of these numbers with if you're comfortable doing that. Sometimes I don't get close enough and I have red showing and I don't like that. So if you want to, you know, clean it up with your X-Acto knife, you can, but be careful. If you're a child and you're watching this, do not use an X-Acto knife without your parent or grandparent, without an adult, basically. So you can clean it up like that, or you can come back in with your scissors and again, clean it up. So we're just looking for a nice, smooth transition from the jar to the red part. And if you go a little behind the jar when you cut this out, it actually helps so you don't see the red. So I kind of go at an angle like this and just cut any extra red out so you can't see it. So yes, this card takes a little extra effort. I get it, but it's not like you're making 100 of them. It's a shaker. It's always going to take a little extra effort. And they're super cute. And whoever gets this card is going to love it, right? It's a love card anyway. It's supposed to be for someone you love. Okay, so there's our little piece that we're going to be using for, I feel like I still have a little spot here. I think it's just the stamp that I'm seeing. It's throwing me off. Yep. Okay. There we go. So there's our piece that we're going to be using. So I'm going to flip this over and we're going to add adhesive all the way around. On the back. And then I'm going to take this little clear piece, this little window sheet, and we're going to pop this on here. Now, it's going to stick out because it's square and you've got a circle, but I want to make sure it's big enough for the area, and I didn't want it to be too small. So now all you're going to do is come in with your scissors and cut the little extra corners off, which are going to probably go flying, so just stick my hand over it. So just cut your little extra corners off that will stick out otherwise. Oops, that one went flying because I didn't put my hand over it. I'll find that later in a year when I clean my desk. Okay. Where'd that last piece go? I bet it fell on the floor, which means it'll end up on the bottom of my foot. Okay, so how many of you end up with stuff on the bottom of your feet all the time? Just wondering. I mean, is it just me, or do you guys end up with stuff on the bottom of your feet? Okay. They don't let you play with sharp things. Well, you can always have somebody do this part for you. Cape May. Beautiful weather the whole time. Well, that is nice. That's nice. So I've messed up both jars so far. We'll go back and do them later. Oh no. You mean this? You messed up this? You mean you messed up your first card too? Do you have the punch? Are you able to punch out some more? I'm sorry. Okay, so we're going to flip this over and we're going to add our pieces to this. Now, I always cut this one that goes around the edge so I can use all of it. So I'm going to just grab one of these pieces, and you want to take the release paper off before you put it on, because we're going to go around this whole piece. So I'm gonna start right here, and I try to get close, but I also don't want to see it. So I don't want to get too close that I can see it from above, you know, the outside of the card. So I'm just gonna go around like so. And then I'm gonna take another piece and we're gonna butt that up. You want to make sure it's very close to the other one so that you can't get any pieces like trying to come out. So butt that up to that. And then the same thing here. You can even overlap a little bit if you want to. Okay. Just like that. And then if you want to add a few more little pieces, since I took this outside off, it's fine. I can go ahead and add some pieces to that. But I can also use it on this. So this is a little bit thicker than our dimensionals. And so what I do is I use it on this piece. So I'm going to end up overlapping this a little bit. So I'm not going to put any right on this corner, but I can use this here. So that it ends up being the same thickness as this other piece. I'll go ahead and just plop that on there because why not? Okay, so you only end up using like 2 strips off this, so you have a lot left over. Okay, so that piece is going to sit over there for a minute because it has stuff on it. All right, then I'm going to grab, oh, I didn't cut my piece of paper. Let me set that aside since we've already got the piece. I totally forgot to cut the paper. So we need to cut our strawberry slush paper. So we're going to grab that from our paper here. We need this piece right here. And we're going to cut a piece that is 2 by 3 3/4. So I'm just going to cut a piece that is 2 inches. I'm trying to not let it stick to the piece over there. So I think I'm going to have to move this up out of the way. Okay, there we go. So 2 by 3 3/4. Okay, good, Tanya. I'm glad you have it. Oh, you didn't get the stamping right. Okay, yeah. You know, you can flip it over and stamp the other side. So don't forget that. Is that you know, you have 2 sides of your that punch. So you can always flip it over. Okay. So then we're going to pin it, excuse me, we're going to pin it this. So I'm going to go up just a little bit up the center, and then I'm going to go from the corner to that point, and then from the corner, because it's a punch and not a die cut, that is one of the differences between punches and die cuts. It doesn't have a bad side, so yeah, that can be kind of convenient. Okay, so now we're going to take this piece, we're going to set this down, and we're going to be adding this piece down, but before we do, we've got to add all of our little bits, okay? So I'm going to take all of this that's in this little, I've got hearts and the gold sequins that we currently have in the line. We're just going to kind of plop them in the middle. And then I can take this piece and I'm going to bring this down centered. I don't want it to be too far up. I need to come down just a little bit. Sorry, let me bring this down a little bit. Just like that. And then I'm going to press really well, make sure that all of my adhesive sticks before these little pieces get jostled around in there too much. And then, ta-da, you have your shaker, right? Okay, so now we're just going to add adhesive to the back of this. You can also use your tearing tape if that's easier for you. I'm going to set that aside for a second. All right, so now I'm going to put the rest of my card together. So I have my card base. And then I have my 3 layers that we're going to be doing. So I love layers on cards. They do end up being a little bit heavier, but I feel like they, you can have an awful lot of layers on a card before it gets too heavy for a single stamp. And the thing is, they make them so much richer. So I really, really love layers. I stamped the hearts in it on the front. So then I turned it over since we're cutting it out, but way behind. Oh, okay, gotcha. I understand. It happens. It's the way it is. Could have used your embossing buddy to help with keeping the static down. Yes, you can always use your embossing buddy to keep the static down if you want to. I don't tend to, and I'll tell you why. Because it leaves a film on the inside of this, and while it might be staticky at first, it will settle down. So, like, this was staticky when I first made it, but you can see it's not anymore. So, I don't really worry about the static. I feel like it works fine. Okay, but yes, you can if you prefer. All right, so I'm going to add the black piece down first. Centered. Then we'll center the strawberry piece. And then finally, we're adding the petal pink piece. This one I'm going to put adhesive all the way around because it is embossed. And we'll pop that on the main background here. Just like that. Then we're going to take this piece and we're going to add that on up here. So I'm about equal distance from the top and the side, but I don't want this to overlap into the pink. So that'll give you about your distance. So it's maybe a little less than ½ an inch, but pretty close to the side. So I'll just stick that down. And then I'm going to grab our little sentiment here that we already added that little piece to, and we're going to pop this on here, but I'm going to add some regular adhesive on this side that's going to overlap. And we'll pop this on just like that. So cute, right? All right, and then I forgot something. Y'all are going to kill me. If you didn't already make this, you'll be glad to know that you didn't do this. Otherwise, if you don't have gold sequins, you can use some others. I forgot to have you save 5 of the sequins. If y'all need me to send you 5 sequins, tell me and I will. Or you can use any other, you know, whatever. I'm so crazy. What is wrong with me? Okay. So you want, there's 3 different sizes of the sequins. So I'm going to use all 3 on this side and then 2, whatever 2 sizes you want here. So I'm sorry about that. I don't know what I was thinking. I just, oh man, I need more sleep, y'all. That's what I need. I need more sleep. Or coffee. Maybe I should start drinking coffee before my classes. I have no brain. Ugh. So I'm going to put 3 dots up here and then 2 down here. And I'm going to grab my, I have begun using Secret C instead of black. Yeah, you can. It is noticeable on some things, but it is close, so you can totally do that if you want to. Okay, so I'm going to get a big one here. Oops, that's not a big one. That's actually a medium one there. I'm going to get a big one right here. Then a medium one. And a small. And then I'll probably use a medium and a small down here. Whoops. I think I used, yeah, that's what I used there. A medium and a small. You were supposed to hold those out of your bag, so I apologize to anyone that I totally screwed up telling you that. If you guys want me to send you some, please let me know. If you're one of those people who's smart enough to watch me before you put it together, then you won't make mistakes like that, because I'll make the mistake and then you won't have to. That's a plus for you being behind. You can note to save 5 sequins back. Why I forgot to tell you that, I don't know. It was staring me in the face the whole time. I just wasn't thinking about it. Y'all, I need help. I do. I'm a hot mess. Y'all know I'm a hot mess. It is the way it is. That's why you love me though, right? Because I'm a hot mess. Okay, I made a mess in my drawer here. Hold on. My tools went everywhere. And I don't even know how that happened. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. I want to be able to get to my stuff later. So I have to fix it, or I won't be able to get to stuff when I'm trying to use them later. Why is this stuck? Okay, there we go. Sorry, you guys. Okay, so anywho, there's our second card. Done. And like I said, you can of course use these embellishments if you did what I did, and you don't have any of the gold sequins. You can just, you can use those. It's fine. Or whatever sentiment you want to. Or black dots would be cute. I mean, anything. Okay, so there is the second card. Number 3. This is our fun interactive card that has the little pull-up sentiment on the front. I will tell you that because I figure people aren't going to realize that, I actually put it in the card like this. So it's like sending a little, and then they hopefully will realize that there's, especially if you leave it like that, then it's like, oh, there's something there, and then they'll pull on it. So, and by the way, this does come all the way out, which is why I made it significantly longer than is necessary, so that, it does come all the way out. There's really not a way to keep it. I mean, there is a way, but it's super frustrating, and it's not worth the time. So I just did it like this. And I'm realizing now that I have a piece of foam from my first attempt that didn't get removed. I made a mistake the first time around. So anyway, we are going to make this happen. So this piece has 2 dimensionals on it that you leave the backing on. And you're going to make I don't know if you guys can see this. You're going to make essentially a slot for this to fit into so that it has a place to stop, and it also doesn't move back and forth too much, so that it basically just goes straight up and down with a little bit of cant in there. So if you just do it like this, and have it when you stick it in the envelope like that, hopefully it'll be like that. If they totally miss it when they get it, you can always ask them, did you find the little sentiment on the front? And hopefully they'll find that. But yeah, sometimes people won't realize there's something there if you have it completely shut. So I kind of stick it in my envelope like that, just to let you guys know. So yes, exactly. I do make mistakes when I'm doing this. So I'm always glad when you guys just watch and then, do it afterwards, so that you don't make the same mistakes that I tend to make. Okay. 'Cause it does happen. All right. So our next card, we are going to be stamping on this piece. You can, of course, stamp on the inside. I stamped some of the little clovers on the inside, so I'm going to stamp on this piece. We'll set the other 2 pieces aside. Then from our little tray, we need 2 of the jars, and we need the 2 green lids. We also need this white twine and this white twine. There should be 3 pieces of twine there. And you're also going to need this little green piece. I think that's everything. Oh, wait. And you're also going to need this white piece for your little scroll piece. Your little, not scroll, you know what I mean. The little piece that comes out of the jar. Okay. Yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so let's start with our stamping. I'm going to grab the soft seafoam, smoky slate again for our jars. So we're going to grab these 2 pieces and our envelope. By the way, if you have every once in a while, when you use a punch over and over and over again, like we do for these clubs, because there's so many people that do the club, if you end up with some little kind of rough spots, just hit them with your buffer, your emery board, whatever, and it'll take those right off. So it happens to me sometimes. You just get these little kind of spots because, you know, the blade is getting used over and over again. So, okay. So we've got our little jars ready to go. We're going to grab our envelope as well because we're going to stamp the jar on there. Let me show you what I did with that one. So there's the envelope for this one. Okay, so we're going to do our jars in gray as always. So you can stamp there and stamp both of these. Yeah, see, I'm not perfectly on straight there, so I'm going to go ahead and flip that over. No, that one's not straight either. Which one do I like better? I think I'll go with the first one. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll go with the first one. It is easier to see what you're doing, but it isn't perfect. It's still can be a challenge. Okay. So there's our jar. Then we're going to take our Granny Apple Green. Now, you can do this full strength if you want to. Let me show you something. Hold on. Let me move these off. Let me grab a piece of scratch paper here. So, we're going to use the background piece. This is the background piece. Let me show you. You've got full strength. Hold on. Why is my stamp doing weird stuff? There we go. Or you can stamp off, which is what I like. I actually like this stamped off better. Just my opinion. I just think it looks a little bit better stamped off. So, it's totally up to you. Because while this does dry lighter than you see now, I want there to be more contrast between the garden green and the Granny Apple Green. So I prefer to do a second generation stamping. So I'm going to take my jar here and I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to stamp off and then I'm going to stamp the background like that. So ink this up, stamp off, stamp the background, and the same thing for the envelope. Okay. All right. I'm also going to stamp, while I have this out, this little piece. You're going to want to add this on really close to the top, but you're going to want to bring it down just a little bit from there, the sentiment. So I'm going to do the sending a little blank your way. Just, hold on. I don't know why I'm doing it with that there. A little bit below the top. Just like that, okay? Okay, and then I'm going to grab the Luck stamp and I'm going to grab my garden green. And I'm going to stamp Luck on there with garden green. Just like that. I'm also going to grab the shamrocks. And we're going to go ahead and add that part to this. And by the way, this background serves for multiple stamps. You can do it behind the hearts. You can do it behind the cookies. You can do it behind this. I mean, it works for everything, so it's really cool. And, oops, let's do our envelope too. Just like that. All right, clean that off. Okay, and then we have our little extra shamrock here. I am going to do one in the center or toward the right, but I want them to look different. And then this one I'm gonna do like over here. So I have little extra shamrocks in there, but I'm doing it in different places. And you can add one, you know, on your envelope if you want to too. I didn't do it on the other, but oh, wait, hold on. And then we have our insert piece as well. So our insert, we're gonna add shamrocks however you want. You can go up and down the side like I did on this one, or you could do corners. It's up to you. So on this one I did shamrocks, and I just change where the stem is for every single one of these. So I'm just rotating this around, and you can do it in a pattern or you can go back and forth. It's up to you. All right. So I got like 8 of them on there. Okay, so that's our little insert piece. We also need to do all of our lids. So we've got these 2 lids plus the lid here. So I'm going to grab my lid and make sure I don't have any black still on there from previous stampings. And I ink that up. I just stuck my fingernail right in my ink. Don't do that. Make sure you get it inked up well. And remember, there are 2 sides to every punch, so if you make a mistake, you can always do the other side. Those turned out okay. Okay, and then I'm also going to do the, sorry, I must have hit that at some point. It's fallen out. Also going to do my envelope. Oh, absolutely. You can do that, Ruthie. Pre-cut pieces. I feel your pain. Yeah, it can be very hard at times to cut pre-cut pieces. I know. That's why I do add the extra white to the kits. That way, if you struggle with that, you've got it. Okay. I think we have all the stamping done. Looks like it. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, we're going to add, we've got to do a couple of things here. We have a piece of white, another piece of white in our little kit that I forgot about. We need this, so grab that. All right. We're going to add a couple of things together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut one of these in half. So I'm going to cut this one actually. So, I'm going to cut this in half. And honestly, it doesn't really matter where you choose to cut it, just somewhere in half. So I'm going to actually do it probably just under the 1-inch mark. So there's more on the top than on the bottom. Like that. Okay. Now, this piece is going to go here. So we're going to add this piece, and we're going to use this piece to basically bridge these 3 pieces together to make the wrapping around the jar and make this a bigger jar. Okay, so I'm going to add the top first to this piece. So you can just add some adhesive to the front of this like so, and then take your top piece and add that on. And then we're going to add this piece so that it lines up exactly with the punch there. And then line that up exactly there. Now, did I flip that over? I did. I totally flipped that piece over. Now I got glue on this side. Hold on, let me get the glue off. I'm like, why does that look wrong? Because I flipped it over. How many of y'all were yelling at me? Oh goodness. Okay, let's try that again. Oh my goodness. Okay, that looks right. Now I like to take my bone folder and just make sure everything is nice and flat and connected there. Okay, and then we're going to flip this over. We're going to add some adhesive right here. And you have 3 pieces of ribbon. You should have 2 that are small and 1 that's large. So the 2 that are small are the ones we're going to add here. So I'm going to put 1 there and 1 there. And then I'm going to flip them over and I'm going to cross them over so that they basically create an X on the front. You can actually do 3 pieces of ribbon if you prefer, but I've just found that this is kind of a small piece, so I don't really like to use more than that. Now, if you want to use a piece of tape here, it's probably not a bad idea, or you can just add some extra. I personally liked using the tape here just because this piece is already a little kind of put together, and so I wanted to not have too much, well, what am I trying to say? I wanted to have a little more support. So if you put tape across here, it kind of supports these pieces together and holds your, I put my tape on the wrong way, this way, and holds your ribbon, your twine on a little bit better. So it just kind of gives it a little bit extra stability. So just my preference, but you can of course use this. Okay, and we'll add the bow here in a second. All right, so there's that. I'm going to go ahead and take this piece and add one of my lids to it. And so the easy way to do this is just add a little bit of glue to the top. Sorry, we will catch her. No more stamping jars. Oh, no more stamping jars. Yes, there's a lot of stamping jars in this particular kit. Sorry. It does kind of go with the territory. I know you were joking. All right, so there's our little sentiment that's going to go behind this one. And we have our lid for this one that we'll put on here in just a second. Okay, so now we're going to grab our card base and we're going to fold it. Oh wait, you know what? We need to cut our paper. Sorry. And I'm looking at my card base and it's a little bit wonky. If y'all ever get a card base that's wonky, I apologize for that. It happens on occasion. I don't know why this one is, but it is a little wonky. It can be one of us just slips when we're cutting just enough and it's a little wonky. You can fix it. You can mess it up like I just did. Don't mess it up like I just did. If you try to do it too small of an amount, it can do that. Whoop. Hold on, now I gotta sand it because I made a mistake. All right. Got little crumbs all in my... You guys, if you ever do that and you get stuff in your trimmer, see how I just messed that up? I'm going to teach you a little trick. Because it happens to us all, right? We get little paper doodads in there. Grab a little... This is the same thing I use on my glue, honestly. It's... You know what this is? This is one of those little SIM card removers. And I just clean out my tray, basically my little trough, my trough with that. do that from time to time. Keep it nice and clean. Okay, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and fold this while I was at it, but we need to cut our paper. I forgot to cut our designer series paper. So we're going to be cutting the green piece, and we want to cut that at 3 3/4 by 5. Now I just made that shorter, but that'll be okay. Okay, so grab your green piece. And I'm going to cut this at 3 3/4. You could do 5 1/4 if you want to do that, because you do typically not do the 2 layers like this, like we're doing for this, and then you can cut it down from there. So I am going to do that just to show you, in case you are one of those people that likes to cut your paper at 5 1/4 like I do, because that gives you 3 card fronts. So there's 5 1/4, and then I'm going to cut at 3 3/4 this way instead of 4 like I normally would. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to cut it then down to 5. So I'm going to end up with a little strip, but that way I have 2 more pieces that I can use for card fronts that are a little bit bigger if I want to. And I can also always add this to the inside of a card piece as well. So I don't get rid of those little strips. I always use those. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's add our insert to the inside. Sweet jar cat, practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. That's funny. All right. We're going to add our Granny Apple, this Granny Apple green. We're going to add our green, garden green layer. These are 2 of my favorite colors of green in our collection. I don't know. I like all the greens, but because I love green and purple, but I love garden green. It's almost a Kelly green, so I really, really like it. Though I do have to say our shamrock green is a beautiful color, and I did consider using that instead, but it has a little bit more of a blue tone, and while it is in this paper, I really wanted to go back to the basic color. And these are also in here, so I went with it. So if y'all are wondering why I choose what I choose, I did think about doing the shamrock. I do like it. It just has a little more blue to it. It's a little more teal, and I like my shamrocks more green, you know? Anyway, it's just who I am. All right, so we're going to be adding this piece on first. So I'm just going to add some adhesive to this. And I'm going to pop this on a little higher than the middle and about 1/4 of an inch from the side of this designer series paper. And then I'm going to add my lid here. And then we have to make the other piece. So I'll show you how to do that. It helps if you put it on right. Just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take this piece and I'm just going to tuck it under those 2, and I'm going to tie this into a bow. Now, tying a bow with twine is always a challenge because it likes to flip on you sometimes. So it doesn't stay flat like a ribbon does. It likes to kind of wind up. So be gentle, and that'll help, but it can still do it. All right, and then you can trim that however you wish. Ta-da! Okay, now the interactive part. This is not as hard as it looks. Okay, so we're going to take this piece, and we're going to, you want to get a piece of washi tape. This is my preference. So I'm going to take it like this. I'm going to put them together as though the lid is on, right? And I'm going to take a piece of washi tape and I'm just going to hold those together like that. Okay? I'm going to flip it over. And what we're going to do is we're going to add dimensionals to the outside of this this piece right here. And now one of those is probably going to end up being a half, well, 2 halves technically. So I'm going to cut one in half like this. And I'm going to put it right at the base, right below where I want that to stop. Okay, so those 2 are right there. You don't have a lot of space there, so it's probably just easier to do a half piece. And then we're going to add a couple along the side. I'm putting that flat edge close. You don't want it too close because you want it to be able to go up and down, but close to the edge of where that is. Just like that. I'm going to add one more here just because I'm going to be neurotic about it. That little corner's needing some help there. Okay, and then I'm going to add 2 more. These 2 I am not going to take the backing off of. Okay, don't take the backing off of these 2, but we're going to take it off the back of these. I still haven't taken the release paper off, or the release paper, this here, and I don't take the release paper off these 2. Okay, then we're going to line that up where we want it. Just like that. And now I can take my piece of washi tape off, and I have my little piece that comes in and out, right? Just like that. And so, like I said, I tend to put it in the card like that so that they realize that they can lift that up. Okay, we're going to add some embellishments to this. I can see that I lost one of the ones that was here. Oh, no, it's up here. It's right there. So, I'm going to do, a large and 2 smalls up this way, and then a large and a small down here. Or you could do just 3 if you'd like. It's up to you. Just like that. So now you have your little interactive card. Isn't that cute? So cute. Okay. What did I call them? Dimensionals. Oh no, they're not mini dimensionals. They're regular dimensionals. They're just a little bit, they came in a kit and they're just a tiny bit smaller than the normal ones. I'm trying to get them used up. But no, they're the regular ones will work because I use the regular ones on this one. So, okay. So that is card number 3, and card number 4 we're going to do another fun technique with. So this is card number 4. We're going to start with our stamping. So I'm going to grab from my kit the envelope. You can also stamp on the inside if you want, or you could add like a little strip of cardstock. Whatever you want to do is fine. It's totally up to you. So we have a couple of different things in here. We're gonna be playing with this larger white piece. The smaller white piece is your insert. So I'm gonna set this aside for a moment. I'm not gonna get to that right away. But we are gonna start with the stamping part. So we do have a jar and a lid. By the way, there are 2 extra lids. So if you do end up messing up with your lids, you've got a couple extra lids in there to stamp on. That's what we're going to make. So for this particular technique, you're going to need a ruler of some kind. It doesn't matter what kind. And a black pen of some kind. Now I'm going to use our journaling pens. This is not it. I grabbed the wrong thing. That's a Ranger embossing powder thing. I'm going to use our new journaling pens for this, but a felt tip pen is great. A gel pen will work. You guys can use whatever black pen you want to use for this. But I'm going to use our new journaling pen because I really like this. It's what I used for this one. And a ruler of some kind. So I'm just going to use a little tiny ruler for this, but you guys can use whatever you want. Okay. We'll get to that in a minute. Before we get to the plaid part, let's work on the stamping part. So let me grab my Stampin' mat again. And once again, we're going to stamp. Now, this lid is going to be stamped in Early Espresso, just FYI. But we're going to make sure to go ahead and stamp our jar in Smoky Slate as we did before. Storm clouds move back in. We really need the rain. You do need the rain? You haven't had rain in a while? We don't need it. We've had so much rain. Oh my gosh, this has been a very rainy year. Very rainy year. Which is fine. I mean, it's good, you know, but we're so oversaturated with moisture at this point. It's like, oh my gosh. If you raise the lid slightly and then add this sticky stuff, the lid will be raised on the front. You raise the lid slightly. Jean, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. If you raise the lid slightly. If you raise the lid slightly. Oh, you mean put it like this so it's open? Yes, you can totally do that if you want to. And then add your dimensionals under there, for sure. I wanted it to close. So that's up to you. Thank you for pointing that out. If you would like it to actually stick up, like to start with, then by all means do that. I just put it in the envelope like this, and most often the dimensionals that are under there hold it still. And so when they open the card, it'll be like that, and they'll be like, what? Wait, what? So yeah. But yes, you can. You can always put it like this and then put your dimensionals that way. They just will never be able to close it all the way. But that's neither here nor there. Yes, you can totally do that. So yes, thank you for saying that. That's a great idea. Okay. Sorry, I was like, what are you talking about? And then I realized what you were saying. All right. We're going to need a couple of colors for this. We need Crumb Cake and we need Early Espresso. But we're going to grab our Early Espresso for the lid. And we're going to use Crumb Cake in 2 layers for the cookies, which will make sense in a minute. So I'm just going to grab both of those inks real quick. And I'm going to start with my lid. I'm going to make sure I don't have any green on it anymore. Hold on, let me get a little bit more. I'm glad you guys enjoyed. I was worried that people would not buy this set because of the luck card. I thought, you know, we're not in that part of the year, but it doesn't mean anything. Card makers, you guys, you know, you're always making stuff off season anyway. So, and you can have luck without it being March, right? So, you know. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take our Early Espresso here. Put it up here so it doesn't wobble. And we're going to stamp our lid. Ta-da! I'm going to do the same thing over here. All right. We're not done with the Early Espresso, so don't get rid of it. Okay, now we're going to take that background, stamp off sheet that we had earlier, and we're going to need that again. So we're going to stamp off the background stamp part. So I'm going to grab my Crumb Cake, I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to add that. You could also use like Basic Beige or something like that, but this is just easier. You get the exact same shade of color. It's just a lighter, and I like that better because Basic Beige has a different tone from Crumb Cake. So I prefer doing it this way. Okay. And then we're going to take our cookie stamp, so the cookies, and we're going to stamp those directly on top of that. Hopefully you line it up fairly well. If it's not perfect, it's not the end of the world, trust me. Just like that. Okay. And then lastly, we're going to stamp our chocolate chips. And for that, we need this little dotted piece. Now, the cool thing about this dotted piece is that you can just use it as dots on other things. You wouldn't even know that that's what it's for, but it lines up so well with this. If you need to practice on another sheet, you know, do that if you need to, but I'm just going to show you. So it actually lines up really well with the cookies. If you just kind of look at through the thing, you'll be like, oh, it lines up perfect. Just like that. Hopefully you can stamp better than I can, because I did a bad job there. I moved. It's okay. It's close enough. All right. And we're going to be doing this exact same thing on the layout for those of you that are doing the layout later. All right. So there is that stamping. Now I'm going to keep my early espresso out here because I did forget one other thing we need to stamp, and that is this little blue arch. So we're going to stamp, and you can do black and brown. You can do just brown. It's totally up to you what you do. I think I'm going to use, I did black for this part the last time, and then the early espresso for sweetness. I think I'm going to do all early espresso and see if I like it better. Let's try it. So I'm going to do sending a little sweetness your way on the basically the top part of this. I did it a little high on this one, so I recommend bringing it down just a little bit on yours. I didn't want to remake the whole piece when I made that card, so I just left it. It's fine, but I would bring it down a little bit. And then we'll add sweetness. So nice. I just love this set. I love all the different little words that you can do, and there's also party and oh my gosh, a little treat for you, miss you bunches. There's so many cute little sayings in there. Okay, so we have all of our pieces. I'm going to move all of these over to the side for right now because we're going to work on our plaid now. So here's what we're going to do. This is super easy, you guys. You are going to make parallel lines. If you have a T-ruler, I will tell you that it's easier to do with a T-ruler. If you don't care if it's perfect, then you don't have to have a T-ruler. There's that too. So do whatever you're comfortable with. But if you use a T-ruler, you can put this on the edge of something and your T-ruler off the edge. Make sure everything lines up. And as you do a line, you can move down, right? I'm not going to use my Stampin' mat. Hold on. I don't want to draw on that. Let me grab this. This is what I used before. So I just used my silicone mat because I can easily wipe this off. And I just make sure that this is all the way up to the edge of the T-ruler so that when I make my lines, okay, it just goes right down. Now, I will tell you that this is not actually wide enough, so you might want to do one of these numbers. We're going to finagle it. That's better. That way it lays flat, because you do want it to lay flat. So you start, you make a line here, you make a line here, you make a line here, and that helps you keep it perfectly parallel. If that doesn't matter to you, then you can just use a ruler, and if it's off, it's off. That doesn't matter either. You can have a wonky plaid. It doesn't have to be perfect. So you guys choose the way you want to do it. So like I said, I'm using our Stampin' Up journaling pen, which is just a felt tip pen at 0.4. If you have a micron pen that's somewhere around that size, that'll work as well, or any kind of felt tip pen. You can use a gel pen. You guys, whatever you want to use is fine. So what I want to do is I want to make parallel lines, and I don't want them to be the exact same distance apart. In fact, I like it to be random. I'm not trying to make a consistent pattern, like over and over again pattern. So I'm just going to make my line, and then I'm going to do one that's close. And then I'll do one that's a little farther apart, but maybe not the same distance as that. And then I may make one, oops, that I didn't do that one very well. Make sure you do make a clear line. If you get going too fast, you're going to end up with funny lines. And then I'll make one that's bigger than that first gap. Also, if you happen to have a metal-sided ruler, those are the best for perfect lines because the ruler never gets damaged, and so you always have a perfect, sorry, I'm getting going too fast. You always have that perfect see. Like that. Yeah, with a felt tip pen, you do want to make sure you don't go too fast. Close one again. So like I said, there's no exact pattern to this, it's just making lines. And then I'll flip it the other direction and do the same thing over again. And then the really fun part is the coloring, which we'll do together. You can also make, do the same kind of thing to make a buffalo check. You can do gingham. You have to be more precise. But you can also do just lines, straight up lines, and make different colored lines, like rainbow lines or monochromatic lines, any kind of fun design you want to do like this. It's super fun. I think I've used this journal pen too much. It's starting to run out on me. I've been using the heck out of it. Anybody else? I'm glad they come in a set of 3 because I do tend to use my journal pens a lot. I've been using them for cards and all kinds of stuff. I need to grab another one. Mine is trying to run out on me. Okay, hold on. Okay, so then we're gonna flip it this way and we're gonna do the same thing going this way. So we're basically making our own background paper, which I love to do. I think it's super fun. Some people don't enjoy doing these kind of techniques, but I think you end up with really unique patterns. And so I find them to be enjoyable because nobody has this, right? Like mine's always going to be, and everyone's going to be a little different. They're not all going to be exactly the same. So, it's a way to make your own background paper. I like stamping my own background paper too. It really comes to life when you get this cross going. And you can see the different sections. Man, I'm gonna grab another one, you guys. That one's running out. Sorry, hold on, let me grab an extra one. I'm really glad these come in a set of 3 because I do use them a lot. I'm probably gonna have to buy another set here soon. I can't believe I've already gone through one, but no, I can. Knowing me and how I use, oh, that's much better. Knowing how I use my pens. I go through stuff really fast, so it's fine. I'm used to it. Okay. So we're just gonna do this one, and then let me do, no, I think I'll do a wider line there. I do want some, you know, fairly wide sections. I think I did some on my last one that were a little bit wider. So you can do any widths you guys want. Oh, I'm realizing the other thing is this is very squishy. So I think it's, that's probably not helping. It's super squishy because I have multiple things going on under here. I probably could have just put like a piece of white and paper under here. You guys having fun with this? I think it's fun. You can also do this with colored markers if you want. So if at some point you wanted to do like a holiday one, you could do red and green lines alternating, and then or do pairs of lines and then color inside those, and then, you know, there's all kinds of fun different ways that you can, or you can do in black, you can color, and then you can come back in and do like dotted lines in colored markers, which is super fun. So there's so many different ways you guys can do this. So definitely play around with it. I think you guys will enjoy playing with this technique. Sorry, I'm getting to the edge. I just want to make sure it's straight. Yep. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I think it's because I've got a mat under here. It's not because it's low. I thought that was strange that it was like running out. I wonder if I just put that. Let's see if that makes a difference. I think that's exactly what's wrong. Is that squishy mat is under there and it's making it harder to get a good clean line. Sorry, y'all. I forgot that I didn't do that last time. There we go. That's a little better. It's still on a squishy surface. I'm pretty sure when I did this the first time, I used my glass mat, but not everyone has a glass mat, so I just did this. So you guys can do it like this too if you want. Oh my gosh, that's so much better. That's funny. That's a lot better. Yeah. So do what works for you. Let's do, let me keep it straight. I just want something I can either clean off or, I didn't want to do it directly on this because while I can clean it off, it's a little harder to clean off. So, okay. So now that we're done with the hard part, not that it's hard, the time consuming is what I should say. All right, so now we're going to color this. And so we have got a few colors. We've got Cloud Cover, Pecan Pie. and crumb cake. You could also use early espresso like in some of the like skinny lines if you want to. I didn't want to get that dark because I'm using early espresso in the card itself. I decided I wanted to skip that entirely. So, but it's completely up to you. So I'm going to start with my lighter colors first. And I don't want to color every single line. So you'll notice here that there are some whites that are left blank. And so it's important to have a little bit of white in there too. So don't color every single area. And you can either use the tip, the brush tip and go like this, or you can use your bullet point and color it in like we kind of normally do stuff. So I'm going to start with the lighter colors first. It doesn't matter, you don't have to, but I just kind of liked it that way. So, and depending on how many stripes you have, you might kind of count like how many stripes did I end up with, and then kind of divide that up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 stripes for me. And I have 6 colors. So I'm not going to do every color 3 times. I might do every color twice in somewhere in there, and then I can come back in and add one here or there. So I think I'm going to do that one, and then I'm going to do this larger one right here. Oh, I need to grab another marker. This one's starting to run out. I go through crumb cake markers and smoky slate markers so fast. Anybody else? Those 2 colors. Oh, and pool party. Oh my gosh. Because I use them for sky stuff all the time, I go through those so fast. Particularly the light ones. Okay, and then I'm going to go for my crumb cake. And I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do this one right next to this one, even though I'm not going to do that normally. Sometimes I do want a color next to another color, just for variety. So I could have done the blue right next to it. It doesn't really matter. I'm just not going to do I'm not going to leave every other white open. And then I think I'll do this one down here. So this is just a really fun, in my opinion, way to do a background. All right, so I'm gonna do cloud cover next. So we'll start with the light, and I'll do this one. And like I said, we are definitely going to have some touching. It's just I don't want it to always, I think I'll do this one right here. You need to make sure that you leave some white. I want less white than color, but. All right, and then I'm going to do the cloud cover dark. I think I'll do this one right here. Now I will say the cloud cover dark and the cloud cover light are not terribly different, so if you decide you want to do less of one of those than the others, you can always do that too. And then I think I'm going to do this little light, little tiny one right here. All right, then we're gonna do pecan pie light. I'm gonna do this one here. And like I said, these are all gonna be different. They're never gonna turn out the same. So if you make multiples of these, expect for every single one to look a little different. I do dark here and dark here? No, dark here. We'll do this one. And if you get going and you're like, oh, I need another line somewhere, add another line somewhere. That's fine too. You can always do that. So now I'm going to do the dark here. And I'm going to do this bigger one over here. And then the magic happens when we turn this sideways. Do it the other way. All right. Now we're going to turn it this way and do the same thing. Now I have more lines going this way, so I'm going to just count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I have 21. Again, 6 colors. So I'm going to do a couple of these with just 2 and then a couple with 3. So it's up to you what you choose to go with. So I'm going to go with my Crumb Cake Light first, just like we did before. And I'm going over all of these. And the cool part is when you go over the Crumb Cake Light with the Crumb Cake Light, it ends up a little bit darker than the slot next to it that might be plain crumb cake. So it works no matter what, which is nice. We'll do this one right here. Hopefully you're not like me and have your Crumb Cake Light trying to die on you. I need to go grab the other one. I always have extras because, or a spare, because I always run out. Never fails. We'll do Crumb Cake Dark now. Let's do this one maybe. I love this color combo too, guys. What other color combos do you think would be cool for this? Like for any kind of card for this plaid design. I love the browns and the blues together though. I think it's really pretty. I think I'm going to do one more Crumb Cake Light down here. Maybe this one. I do like the Crumb Cake Light, even though I'm running out. Why am I doing that? I should go grab another marker. And the blue, I'm probably going to do 3 of the blues too. Okay. All right, so then we're going to do a cloud cover light. Everybody's coloring, right? Because you guys are being like totally quiet. Nobody's said anything in 27 minutes. Oh my gosh, y'all still there? I think everyone's just coloring, but I'm gonna check. Y'all say something, so I know that you're there. Okay. Let's do one here. And I think, no, I don't want to do it right next to that one. Maybe here. I try to put them in different places so the same colors aren't always next to each other. Okay, nobody has said anything, so I'm just going to double check this, make sure that I'm not having an issue. What is going on? It's still live. Okay, well that's, oh, there it goes. Okay, yep, I just wasn't getting the comments. I wonder if my internet's having an issue. It might be. I don't know if they've been working on our internet out here the last couple of days or what, but there have been some issues. Okay, I see. You guys were talking. I just didn't see any of it. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna back up here and just read these. Because of you, I brought the set as well. Other stamp set you recommended that goes with it, so you might do the other one. Oh, I totally will. The Jar of Joy, I said that earlier, Jeffrey. I will be doing, not today, but I will be doing a card with that coming up soon. Okay, Kathleen. Black fine liner. Black ink pens. I needed collection. I'm able to find at least one. Yeah, most of us have black pens somewhere. Oh, none of us can draw straight lines, Jean. That's what the ruler's for. But yeah, you can of course do that if you want to. Use Timeless Plaid. Oh, come on, coloring's fun. Yeah, sometimes they hide comments, but sometimes it just doesn't update. I want my ice cream, but I don't want to get up. Oh no, Phyllis. Okay. Okay, so let's do. Well, nonetheless, if you guys want to do this at a later date, even if you don't do it today, you'll know how. Okay, let's do this one. And then I'm going to do one more of the dark cloud cover. I think I'll do this one. Okay. And then we're doing pecan pie. I'm going to actually do the dark one real quick because I wanted to not forget. I want to do this one. And this one maybe? So was there, I didn't even think about that, is there a Timeless Plaid one that works pretty well with this? And now this is the light pecan pie here. And I think I'm going to go over this line one more time, just for fun. And I'm going to go over this one more time. When you go over the dark colors with light, it does lighten them up a little bit, so I kind of like to go over some of those. It's going to make it darker, but that's okay. Just want there to be a couple that are darker than everything else. That's pretty good. I like the way that one turned out. That's nice. I like that. Okay, I think we're good. I actually think I like this one better than the previous one. So you can see they're totally different, right? Like they're not the same. Whoops. So yeah, like I like this one. Okay. And of course, when it when it settles down, it'll be even softer and more mixed, you know, and it'll look more like that in general. Okay, so we're ready to put all this together. So I'm going to take my card base and, oh, I use the bullet tip. I prefer the bullet tip for coloring most of the time. I have more control over what I'm doing, and I think it just looks better in general. But there are times when I use the brush tip, but only on the side. So you don't want to use the tip of your brush tip. It will damage it really fast because it's like a paintbrush. So yeah, so I use the bullet tip. Okay, so we're gonna add this piece on. This is we've added our insert. We're adding the early espresso piece on top of our card base. Then we're going to add this piece on top of that. Just like so. Then I'm going to take this little piece. This has been cut wrong, I'm noticing. We're going to, I don't know if I did that or I may have made a mistake on my measurements. We're going to cut this down to, I think this is 3 3/4. Whoops, wrong side. Yeah, 3 3/4. So I'm going to cut it down to 3 3/4. And this was run through the plaid folder, just super cute going with this. And this is going to be, if you guys want an exact measurement, it is about 1.5 inches up from the bottom of this front sheet. So if you want to measure that, you can. So I'm going to add adhesive all the way around because this was run through an embossing folder. So I just want to make sure I don't end up with any bumps. And we're going to put this about 1.5 inches up from the bottom. Now, does that mean some of my marker stuff gets covered? Yeah. It's fine. It's all good. It works out in the end, don't worry. Okay. Then we're going to add these two pieces on like this. Easy peasy, right? So I'm just going to add some adhesive here and here. I'm going to pop this one on. And then this one. Just like that. Now, this piece, I'm going to flip over both of these pieces together. And if you want it to be like a little bit on top, you can. It's up to you guys. You can glue it on first if you prefer. That works too. Or you can just put it down like that. And then I'm just going to add my dimensionals so that they overlap both pieces, and that'll hold it together. And we'll add some more dimensionals. I'm going to go dimensional crazy here. Wouldn't be me if I didn't go dimensional crazy at least once. Okay, and then we're just going to pop this on here. Not quite dead center. I want to come over just a little bit. This is too high. Hold on. I made this too high. Let me move this down a little bit. Sorry, I just realized it was way too high. There we go. Okay. Ow. The nerve in my hand just freaked out. All right. And then we're going to grab our little cute dots here and pop a few on here, just like so. And isn't that a cute card? Oh my gosh, I love that card. So cute. Ta-da! So that is card number 4. All right, now we have a bonus card for those of you that are club members. You have a free gift, and this is the card that we're going to be making, because I saw this little jar and I was like, honey, for sure, right? Like, how do you not think of honey, right? So we're going to make this cute card to coordinate with our honey stuff. So if you happen to have this stamp set, I am going to use this stamp on my envelope. If you don't have it, it's not the end of the world. So you can just skip that step. But I am going to be using that. So, and if you don't have this, you have a little bit of breathing room for a moment. Don't go anywhere. We are going to continue going here in just a second. So you're not going to want to miss everything. You've got some sneak peeks about to come up too. So don't go anywhere. Okay. So we've got a stamp on our jar, our lid, our sentiment piece, and I think that's it. So let's, oh, and our envelope. I'm forgetting something. Envelope. Okay. So let's stamp real quick. So we've got our jar, and you can do gray or black. I went ahead and did black on this one just because there's so much black going on that I thought, I'm going to try that. So on this one, I'm going to try it with gray and see which one we like better. So if you want to wait and stamp yours later, after you see what I do, then you can decide if you like it gray or black better. Okay, so for this one, we're going to do gray like we've been doing. Okay, I need to fill my gray ink pad. Ta-da! Okay. And we'll see if we like it with the ink that way. All right, and then I'm going to do black, of course, for my my lid. You could also do gray for the lid if you want it to look silver on any of these cards, but I am going to do black for this. Okay, the next step for this one is our sentiment, which you guys can do whatever you want for this. I'm using the same Sending a Little Sweetness Your Way. I did do mine a little bit high, so I'm going to bring it down a little bit on this one. So you can see here, I kind of centered it. I'm going to bring it lower than center for this one. So I just need enough room for there to be a B right here. Honestly, that's all that matters. So I'm going to bring it down. You could also do sweetness in Petal Pink or Crushed Curry or one of those other colors if you want. I'm going to do it in black just because yellow is not the best color for sentiments. It just doesn't show up very well. I mean, yeah, the Crushed Curry is fairly dark and probably would work, but I'm just going to do black. Okay. So that is all. What is my lid? There it is. So that's all the black. Set that aside now. Okay, and then we're going to color real quick. So I need to put my little envelope piece in here because I am going to be doing some blending. And I'm going to use Daffodil Delight for this. So you guys can do whatever you want, but I think Daffodil Delight works really well. And I'm going to not go all the way to the top. So you want to decide where you want your level of honey to be. And you can do that with the light if you want to start with. So I can take my light and I can say, okay, I want my honey level to be there. Don't go past this first little line, because that is your jar line. That is your, here's the clear part of the jar that you're seeing through there. So then I'm going to take the dark, and I did that with the light. I'm going to take the dark and I'm going to go down the sides. Oops. And I do want to leave a gap down here at the bottom, because it's going to be a little bit darker on the sides, and I'm also going to add just a little bit extra down in the bottom here. If you ever look at honey in a jar, it's not all the same. It doesn't all look the same color. So I'm going to add this down here, and I'm going to blend, I'm going to try to blend as well as I possibly can with my light. I think I need to grab another one. Hold on. I knew that was going out last time, so I should have grabbed a new one. So I want to blend in as much as possible with that color. The other thing you can do is, if you don't like how light the light is, you can start with your Daffodil Delight Dark, and you can go over the parts that you want to be. So this is the dark again. I'm just showing you different things. The part that you want to be darker, you can go over more than once. So just remember that. That's always an option if you think it's too light. Because the Daffodil Delight light is really light comparatively. I did grab Daffodil Delight, right? Yeah. So I can come back in here and I can add more in the areas where I think it needs to be darker, right? And get that depth, okay? So I'm going to do this one now. So in this case, we're not stamping on the inside, we're actually just coloring the inside. And you can even come in with the light and blend those in together if you want to. Play around with it. Okay, so we have our honey. Now, for this, for the envelope, I'm actually going to grab my crushed curry ink, and I talked to you guys about this the other day. You can take your crushed curry ink or the other day. Why did I say the other day? Earlier. And I'm using the Be My Valentine stamp set for the little honeycomb. You guys don't have to do this. This looks like honey all by itself. They'll get the idea. But if you want to use crushed curry ink for the honeycomb, you can do that and add the honeycomb to the front of your jar. So cute, right? Because it's just a little bit darker, and that'll give you about the right color for the honeycomb. Okay. Then let's go ahead and put our card together. So we're going to need to finish the card off. We need the yellow sheet from our paper. So let me grab that. Maybe. I tried. It was just being difficult. So on your little sheet, it tells you like all the things. So you're going to need a piece that is 2 inches, and I'm doing it with the dots going side to side. Okay, so 2 inches. And then I'm going to cut this at 5.5. So it goes all the way across my card. All right, we're ready to go. So now we're going to take our card base, which is in Daffodil Delight. We're going to add our insert. You can, of course, stamp the honeycomb on the inside of your card too. I meant to show you that. So let's just do that real quick if you want to. Looks kind of cute. You can even go off the side, like over here. That's really cute. Do some different pieces in different places. Whatever you want to do. Whoops, I didn't get that stamped very well. That's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right. So we got some honeycombs in the inside. Super cute. All right, we have the black piece and this piece that we're going to layer. So I'm just going to add this on here. Which card? This card, you liked it? Hey, Lisa. You like this little extra card? The little free gift. Bonus project. All right, then we're going to add this piece to the front of the card. I don't know, about 1/2 inch up from the bottom. Let's add this piece to the inside. We're going to take this piece and we're going to add it over here. Just like that. We've got our jar that we're going to, I'm going to add the lid to the top. You don't have to do this, but if you want it to be perfectly lined up, you can always do this and then add your dimensionals underneath. I just put a teeny tiny bit of glue to hold it in the right spot. Now I'm trying to decide if I like the black or the gray better for this. Let's add our dimensionals, and I like to go over the both pieces here at the top. I'm gonna need that. Hold on. All right, so we're gonna add this on here, like so. We've got our little honeycomb piece that was in your kit as well. We're gonna flip that over and add some glue. This is very fine, so be careful that you're just using little dots. Don't need a lot of glue. Try not to use too much, it'll squish out. I kind of use little dots and then spread it around. If you're using a silicone mat, anything that goes off the edge here is Not the end of the world. You can just clean it off with some alcohol and a paper towel. I don't like it to be too thick anywhere because I want to, see, I got it all over the place. But that way it's not too thick on the actual piece and won't, so I did mine this direction. I did my level a little lower on this one. That's okay. All right. Got a little extra glue right there. I don't like getting glue on the outside of my pieces because then it picks up like oils and dirts and things like that, and you don't want your card to be dirty. I'll try to get it off. There we go. Okay. All right. I don't know. Do you like the black or the gray better? Which one? Okay, then we've got our little piece of ribbon here, so I'm just going to tie this in a bow. Just like that. I'm going to grab a glue dot, pop that on there, oops, and then I'll trim at an angle like so. So cute. I'm sad this ribbon is going away, or is gone actually, I think. And then we're going to add our little bees. So I'm going to just put a dot of glue here, here, and right here. And then I'll grab my little sticky end piece, flip that one over. Come on, flip over. It doesn't want to flip over. It wants to be upside down. Look, bee. You have to be right side up. So I'm just going to add my little bees. I love these little bee charms. They're so cute. Oh my gosh, I love this card. Isn't it cute? It's so cute. So that is your free gift, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Extra little gift. And I'm going to point out too, I've made, if you guys want to go back and watch the video for this, our scrapbook page that we're about to do has one of these chocolate chip cookies in it. So if anybody missed this class and you need the link or whatever, you can go back and watch it. But this is one of my shaped cards, my food court cards, and we did the cookie with this. And so I used the same exact basic design for my cookie for the one in the layout. So there's another card that coordinates with this class, just, you know, or this club out of circumstance. But anyway, okay, so now we're going to do, let me tell you really quickly who won the drawings. And then we will do the announcements, and we'll draw the live winners, and then we will do the layout. So don't go anywhere. Hopefully not too many people had to take off early today. Okay, so you like the honey? Yeah, the honeycomb stamp from the past, that's another one you can do. Yeah, I think there is a honeycomb in one of those past paper pumpkins. That's true. Bonuses are the best. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Okay. Okay, So we have 4 winners for this club. It was a little bit smaller than I expected it to be. I thought you guys were going to just absolutely fall in love with this class, but it might have just been because it was summer. I don't know. It happens in the summer. But we have 4 winners for the pre-drawing. So this is all the people that I drew ahead of time to win the pre-drawing. And so I use random.org for that. And our 4 winners, I don't know if any of them are on today. I don't think they are. If they are, I didn't notice a comment, but or I've forgotten, one or the other. So don't go anywhere, Brenda. Let me do the announcements real quick with the winners and stuff. So and we'll do the drawing for the live drawing, so you can maybe win that. So okay, so our 4 winners are Audrey Wall, Bonnie Bays, Diane Dorsey, and Nicole Herrick. So I will be sending you guys a text for you guys to be able to pick your prizes for this. And so be looking for that text to be coming your way this weekend. So congratulations to the 4 of you. As far as announcements go, you guys, I did post a video the other day for the holiday paper share. If you have not seen it, please check it out. I did it on Tuesday. Several of you asked to know exactly what all the things were. Sorry for the hiccup. And so I went through and I showed all the paper, I showed all the specialty paper, all the embellishments, and both of the stamp sets / bundles, so you guys would know exactly what is involved in the paper share, so you can make an informed decision. You only, I'm hiccuping like crazy. You only have a couple more days to sign up for the paper share, so don't miss out. Recount. Jeffrey, you're hilarious. Anyway, don't miss out on this, you guys. It is so great. It's such an amazing deal. You're going to get 9 card kits along with the 9 new paper packs. It is such a great value at just $50 for just the card kits alone at $50. Plus you're getting all the paper. Plus you're getting gifts. Plus you're going to get prizes. I mean, it's just an amazing deal, you guys. So don't miss out on this. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked the review of the paper share. Yeah, it was a request, so I just wanted to make sure that I got out there and showed that stuff to you guys. So definitely check that out and sign up for that by the 1st, you guys. So if you're interested, please, please, please make sure you sign up by the 1st, because we're going to be placing the order on the 3rd, and we won't have time to get you added in. We have to do stuff to prep for our order, so make sure you get that taken care of. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, but definitely watch that video because that'll probably answer most of your questions, but feel free to ask me on that too. Also, for those of you that cannot wait for Christmas stuff, guess what? It's Christmas time. October is here, and October is when I start doing my Christmas classes. So October card class is my first technical Christmas event of the year. And so we are going to be using the super adorable Gingerbread Man stamp set. You don't have to have the dies to do this class. As always, you need the stamp set, but you don't have to have the dies. This is a absolutely super duper cute set. So I hope you guys will do this with us. It's awesome. To sign up for any of my events, paper shares, classes, clubs, any of that, you guys probably already know, but just text me and I'll be happy to get you signed up. So this set is so cute. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 faces. You've also got cheeks, if anybody's wondering what that is. You've got the dots. You've got the hair for the girl. You've got an extra little squiggle for whatever you want to use that for. And some super cute, even punny sentiments. So seasons, eatings, baking spirits bright, sugar and spice and everything nice, and oh snap. And then the die set, you guys, look at the size of this. It's huge. So you can cut the faces out. You've got all kinds of different candy here. You've got like a lollipop, gumdrops, peppermints, you've got a candy cane, you've got a hat, a scarf, a bow or bow tie, you've got a mug for like hot chocolate, you've got this piece so that you can cut their leg or hand off. I know that sounds really weird, but just trust me, you'll see in just a second. So let me show you, and of course you have this, and you also have a bubble for like the oh snap or whatever, or the season's eatings. This you guys, I'm going to show you some really fun things with this die. This die is amazing. So anyway, let me show you the cards because you guys are going to love this. Okay, so here's the first one. I'm also using these really cool card bases that have the gold foiling in them, and they're plaid, which y'all know I love plaid. So, so cute. I did pull in some retired glimmer paper to these cards. Hope you don't mind. There's even a retired Christmas hat there, but it's so cute. So sugar and spice and everything nice. We've also, you're able to make these super cute shaped cards with this set, which I love. Absolutely love this. Now, I will say I don't normally like to have this dark of a paper to write on, but you can write with an early espresso or black on this and see just fine. So it's fine. But as you can see, we have a cute little hat and scarf, and we have our candy cane, and you can already see there's different faces, but I've got Baking Spirits Bright. Then we've got this one that I got my what am I trying to say? My inspiration from one of the cards in the catalog. Oh my gosh, isn't that cute? So cute. I actually think I'm going to be changing this bow tie to the glimmer paper. Haven't decided for y'all's kits, but it'll be one or the other. And then here you go, the Oh Snap, where we've cut the little leg off. And he's going, oh! Oh my gosh, you guys, this set is so cute. I absolutely love it. I just think it is so adorable. I don't want you guys to miss out on it. So make sure you sign up no later than the 7th for this class. And so you're going to be getting your hands on some fun things with this class. And then for those of you that scrapbook, as so many of you do, we also have the add-on layout, which I think turned out so cute. Oh my gosh. How cute is this layout with the little gingerbread all over the place? I love it. I think it turned out adorable. So I hope you guys join me for this because I think this is stinking adorable. If you guys have any input, please let me know. If you want a different sentiment up here, let me know. All those kind of things. But I hope you guys like what I created for you, and I hope you'll join us for this event. So don't miss out on that. Make sure you're signed up by the 7th for that. Okay, so those are the next two events. Oh, by the way, the holiday paper share, I forgot to tell you this. For those of you that are demonstrators, because I know there's a lot of you out there and you buy all the paper anyway, if you don't want to buy the paper from me in the paper share, you want to buy whole packs, that's fine. You can also get just the 9 card kits from me. No designer series paper included, okay? Just the card kits and the PDF for $25. Or you can get the PDF only and cut all the stuff yourself and join us for the event. That way you also get access to the lives, of course, in either of those options as well. So those are 2 other options that you can do if you don't want the full paper share. Sorry, I forgot about that. Okay. Also, oops. Okay, you guys, if you have not taken advantage of the 25-27 in color products at 15% off, it ends in 2 days. Don't miss this. Order your in color products before the sale ends, okay? Because they are 15% off, which is a great deal. And if you're a demonstrator, you get your discount on top of that. So it's amazing. So don't miss out on that. And then finally, if you'd like to receive my Creative Inspiration Calendar totally for free, I send these out on or around the 25th of every month. So if you'd like to get these from me, they're awesome. They give you all of my Facebook Lives as when they're planned, and then that way you know what inspiration you're going to get those days, and then all the other days have a creative prompt on them, so you have something creative and inspirational to do every single day of the month if you so choose. And so hopefully you guys really enjoy these. I do have a reminder on here to watch Tip Tuesday because that is another Facebook thing I'm doing as well, lives. So in the fall, I'm going to be on 4 days a week: Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Don't forget, we start 12 weeks of Christmas on September 28th. Cannot believe that's already here. It goes by too fast, you guys. All of my calendars do include information on when and where my Facebook Lives are, and what my YouTube information as well, and then all of my other contact information so that you can get a hold of me. You guys are always welcome to call me with any comments, questions, concerns, etc. I am always here to help. Okay, that said, let's do our quick drawing for, whoops, that's upside down, for our prizes from the comments. So please give me a drum roll and I will put out some goodies. We are going to do 2 drawings today. We've got one for this video live, and then I'm going to save this one for next week. And then we have this one that we'll be drawing from last week. So when you watch my videos, you always get a chance to win if you're on the live. And then if you watch the replay, you get a chance. Plus anybody who was on live is also in this drawing. So if you watch live, you're getting 2 drawings. If you watch just the replay, you still get to be in at least one. So it's a little bit of a benefit to be on my lives because you get in both the drawings. But if you can't make it live, at least you know you can be in one as long as you comment. You have to comment. Your comments are your entries in the drawing. So make sure you do that. Okay. So that said, I am going to, give me 1 second here. Because we're on our club thing, I've got to go back a page here and get all of the comments. Will it let me? Yeah. Well, I thought it would. Maybe, maybe not. Huh? Okay, apparently not. So I'm going to have to do it the way I thought I had to do it. Facebook is so weird. Okay. One of these days, I'm going to figure out why it's so weird. Okay, are you guys ready? Here we go. Oh, no. I got to put prizes out first. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to put these prizes out, and then thank you for the drum rolls, by the way. I'm going to put these prizes out, and then y'all decide what you want so that if you win, you're ready to put it in the comments. You ready? Okay, so we have the Something for Everything ephemera pack. There are 8 sheets of ephemera in here, 2 of each 4 different designs, 4 different kinds of pages. So you have 2 of each thing. We also get, I take all kinds of our designer series paper and I bag them up in 12 sheet groups. This is random designer series paper. There is not a duplication in here at all. So there's 12 different designs in here from different packs. And they're all different. So if you would like random designer series paper, I mean, you know, we can always use more paper, right? Then you can always get that from me. I also have D-size blocks. These are the straight-sided blocks that you can get. You can also get the little chiseler from me, which is not a Stampin' Up! Product, you guys. This is a product all its own. I buy them in bulk, pass the savings on to you. You can buy them from me for $2, or you can get them free in my drawing. You guys saw me use it today to fix a bunch of things. I also have an extra Stampin' Right marker in Pebbled Path. This is retired color now. This was an in color from last year. And so I just have an extra one, long story. But if you guys are interested in this, you can get this extra brand new. It's brand new. It's never been used marker from me as well. So that is in Pebbled Path. Okay, so that's all of the things. So now I'm going to draw. Okay, are we ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And the winner is, oh, who is that? Jean. Jean Maxwell, congratulations. You are the winner for this live. Okay, and then I will draw one next week, and then I'm also going to draw one for last week's video, which was the mystery stamping that we did with product reveal for the upcoming products that are being released on the 3rd for both the holiday catalog. By the way, if you need a holiday catalog, let me know. For the holiday catalog, this guy right here, and then also all of the online exclusives that are coming out on September 3rd. You guys, if you're not checking out the online exclusives at my website, you're missing out because we probably more than half of our products are now online exclusively. So you definitely want to check that out. Okay, so I'm going to get all the comments from that video. I've already plugged the link in. It's thinking, it's thinking. I'm plugging them in on Facebook random Facebook comment picker. Yeah, that's it. That's a lot of comments. Okay, here we go. A lot of people watched that video. Let's see how that went. Okay, and our winner is Kelly Lewis. Congratulations to Kelly Lewis. All right, so I will let those people know that they won. If you are on right now, you're welcome to put that in the what you want in the comments. If not, I don't think either one of you on. Yeah, Jean's on. Jean's on. So Jean, you want this? Is this what you're saying you want? You didn't pick this already recently? I thought you picked that already recently. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I forgot that Jean was on. I don't think Kelly has been on today, though. Let me know if that's what... Okay. You have picked it recently, you just want more? Or yes, that's what you want? Or both? Okay. So I will let Kelly know that she won because I don't think she's on right now. Okay. So congratulations to our winners. Thank you for joining. I am about to do the layout, so don't go anywhere. If you would like to be a part of that, I sure would like for you to stay. If you don't want to stay, I'm not going to make you. But we're going to be doing the layout together, so I hope you'll join us for that. And let me grab my little... All right. I'm also going to clean off my... I got a lot of glue on there, so give me 1 second here and let me clean off my little mat here. And ink. I forgot I got ink on here. But you can see, I just clean it. Look at, I had ink on there. You just clean it off with some alcohol. Might as well clean off both sides while I'm at it, because I get stuff on here all the time. Alcohol is one of my best friends in here. The only thing you don't want to get alcohol on in your stamp room is your stamps. But your stamping blocks, when they're empty, any of your tools pretty much are... You can put alcohol on. Just don't get alcohol on stamps. Okay. You're welcome. Yes, if you guys are leaving, thank you so much for joining us. God bless. Have a great week. And join us next weekend for a full week of fun. We'll be back full time next weekend. So I hope you guys will join us then. All right. So for those of you that want to stick around, whether you bought the kit or not, you're welcome to stay. We are going to be doing this super cool... Oh, hold on. I gotta get my paper. I buried it. Give me a second. I buried the paper. I gotta unbury it. Okay. I need to be able to get to that. Okay, so you have your PDF in here, of course, for like details on how to remake anything that you need to remake. Also the sizes for the paper that needs to be cut for this. If there is anything, is there anything in here? No, I don't think there, yes there is. There's one thing. Right? Hold on. Yeah, there's one thing. So we're going to cut that real quick actually. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab the blue. So, okay, hold on. Let me explain what I'm saying. I'm trying to grab my paper. Give me a second. Hold, please. It's fighting me. Okay, so we use this piece right here, but we had to cut that a certain direction, and it's not convenient for the layout. So you're going to grab your other piece of blue, wherever that is. It's right here. So grab your other piece of blue, not the one we already cut, but the other one. And this will make sense in just a second. I'm going to put all these back in here just so they're out of the way. All right. Oh, neighborhood dog is barking. All right, so we actually want to cut it this way this time. And so, yeah, I know that's a little inconvenient, but it's okay. You're going to cut your paper anyway. You don't have to have full sheets. It's all right. Okay, we're going to cut two pieces that are no, I'm sorry, they're 1.5 inches apart, 1.5 inches wide. So you want your lines going, yay, scrapbook time. Okay, so you want your lines going side to side, and we're going to cut two pieces that are 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to cut 1.5, and then another 1.5. And this is really all the paper that you're taking from your, you got a lot of paper left over from this collection. So, the other paper in this kit is already cut for you because it's from other sources. So I already cut that for you. Okay. So we have our two pieces. Oh, one other thing we need to do. before we go any further is we need to dump our little baggie. I've still got my 2 lids here. Don't lose any of your little chocolate pieces. There's a ton of them in there, so be careful. Be really careful when you're taking pieces out of this bundle of stuff that you don't lose any of your little chocolate chips, okay? We need those for the cookies. All right, so we have 3 jars that we're going to be stamping on, so I'm going to go ahead and grab those, and 3 lids, which you have a couple extras from the previous kit, so unless you messed up and needed to use them. Okay, and I think that's the only thing we're stamping on. Yeah, okay. So just don't lose any of your chocolate chips. All right. Okay, then this piece we're going to tear. So I don't know about you guys, but I love tearing paper. I used our regular retired paper for this because I didn't want a white core. I am a little bummed that we no longer have this paper because there are certain techniques like this that I'm going to miss being able to do without a white core, but it is what it is. So we're just going to make it work. So I'm using some of the retired that I had, and so what we're going to do is we're going to basically find the center and we're going to tear. And so you want to tear, kind of a controlled tear, coming towards you. It's okay to kind of go back and forth or whatever. We're not trying to really create slopes, we just want a tear line. But I want to try to stay basically centered and end centered for sure. So, okay, and then what's going to happen is I'm going to flip this one over so that that tear, that beautiful tear, shows on the front. Okay, so this is now the front of this one, and this is the front of this one. And then I'm going to add, move this over to the side here. I'm going to add these to this. Okay, so I'm just going to add one here. And I'm going to do it about 1/4 of an inch up from the bottom or something like that. You depending on how you tore it, you may have to change that a little bit, but I'm trying to do about 1/4 of an inch. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing here, and I like to just make sure that they line up. So if you want to, you can flip this over on the back, stick them together so that they line up. Add a piece of washi tape, whoops, add a piece of washi tape. Flip it back over, and then when you add this piece, you can make sure it lines up. Just like that. Okay? All right. Now, we're going to add these to our card base, or our scrapbook base. This is Crumb Cake, and this is the two-tone. So, I like the light side. If you want to use something different, by all means, go for it. You can use whatever you want. But I'm going to use the light side. So, I'm going to go ahead and add this to the first page here, and I'm going to try to leave a little bit extra, just a little more than whatever line I left here. I don't want it to be exactly the same, so a little more than 1/4 of an inch maybe. This was actually a little less than 1/4 of an inch, so this is probably closer to 1/4 of an inch for me. And then I'm going to do the same thing here, and again, I want them to line up. So I am going to add a little piece of washi tape here just to hold this flat, so that I make sure that it doesn't move while I add this on. So they end up lined up. Okay? Easy peasy. All right, so there's our 2 pages. Now, we have all of our papers. Usually when I send these to you guys, they end up all crazy. So I'm just going to tell you what goes on what page. So on the first page is going to be one of the colors. Oh my gosh. Cloud cover. I almost called it boho blue. This is cloud cover. I swear I know my colors. Real red, basic beige, and pecan pie squares. So you've got those three for the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, you've got the full, like half a page of pecan. You've got the early espresso, real red. You've got your cookie, and you've also got this piece here, okay? All right, so this little piece is actually going to get attached to, and you should have a white piece also. Do y'all have a white piece in yours? Oh my gosh, did that not get put in there? Y'all, if y'all need me to send you a white piece, tell me and I will send it to you. I'm going to add this on here probably about 1/2 inch down one side of this early espresso piece. And if you ever get anything, as you know, that needs to be filed because it's fuzzy, then do that. Huh. Okay. Yeah, so is anybody else missing their white piece, or is it just me? So hopefully you have white that you can cut. I do not know why that is not in there, so let me get the, hold on, where did I just put that? Oh, there it is. Okay. You should have a white piece that is 3 by 4 3/4. I already have one of those cut, so I'm just gonna grab one of those. 3.5 by 4 3/4. It's the same size as the inserts that I use. So that should have been in there. I'm just curious if anybody else is missing it or if it's just me. You guys are so sweet. Asking each other how you're doing. I just love that. I'm glad it's healing, Phyllis. And then we're going to add this piece to this piece. And I'm just going to get these 3 sides. I want to be basically equal. Like so. Okay. So these 3 pieces are going to be over here. We'll finish the cookie here in a minute. All right, so let's do some stamping. So we have our 3 jars. Just checking the edges of this one. A couple of these are a little bit funky. If y'all are not neurotic like me, you're lucky. I just can't stand it if there's fuzzies on stuff. It'll drive me nuts, and that one's still... I'm crazy. Okay. So we're going to use our smoky slate as we did before. And we're going to stamp our 3 jars. Remember, there's 2 sides to every jar, so if you mess up, you can flip it. All right. Ta-da! Okay. Then, and I'm going to go ahead and clean that off since that's my last of the jar making. All right. Then we're going to grab our early espresso or black. Either one is fine. I'm going to use early espresso for this, but you can use black if you prefer the lids to be black. That one was a little low. I might flip that over, see if I can do it better on the other side. So there's the lid done. Now, these are cookies. I'm not going to get rid of that yet. So I'm going to put these over to the side. So we're going back to our crumb cake. And this time we are going to do the same thing we did last time. So we need our stamp off piece. All right. So I've got my 3 jars here. I'm going to grab the background piece. I'm going to ink that up with crumb cake. I'm going to stamp it off. And then I'm going to add that. In the background. Okay. All right. Then we're going to grab our cookies and we're going to use our crumb cake again for the cookies themselves. And if you don't get it perfectly straight, it's okay. All right. We are going to need our crumb cake again in a minute, so I'm not going to put it away, but for the moment, we're done with it. So I'm just going to close it. All right, then we're using our chocolate chips, and we'll just line those up. Ta. All right. Close that. All right, we are going to cut one of these jars like we did before with the Lucky. So I do it at 1 inch, but you guys can do it wherever you choose. Do make sure it's straight though. So I just line it up at that 1 inch mark, the lid, the top of the jar, and that will create that. In your little tub, you've got this white piece and this piece that we're going to use for the jar. So I'm going to take my silicone mat, add adhesive to this, we're going to put this on here like so, then add the crumb cake piece below that. That's your wrap around your jar, and that piece. Now, if by any chance you have any little pieces poking out like I do, just trim those little angles underneath there and get rid of them. All right, perfect. And then I like to run this over that. All right, in your little goodies here, you have a couple of pieces of twine. So we're going to flip this over. I'm going to add some adhesive here and here. Whoops, I hit that with my hand. I'm just going to put that into that piece and come over the other side and crisscross it like so. And then I'm going to add my tape just to give that a little extra stability and hold on to those pieces. Just like that. Ta-da! Okay, so we have our 3 jars. Now 2 of these jars and 2 of the lids are going to be on the right hand page, and 1 jar and lid will be on the left hand page. All right, now we're going to grab our cookie. You might want to, you don't have to, but if you have a dauber, whoops, I just hit my desk with my chair. Sorry about that. If you have a dauber, my crumb cake dauber here, we're going to use our crumb cake ink again, and we're going to just add a little bit of ink around the cookie. It makes it look more realistic, like it's, you know, actually baked. It's a baked cookie. And you can even take this and then just kind of, I always start on the mat. This is how I got brown on my mat before. And I just kind of do different areas. I try not to get too strong anywhere, but just add a little bit of texture to it, so it's not just a flat color. Okay, so there's that. All right, put that away so I don't get it on anything else. Oops. All right, now we're going to add our little dots and stuff to our cookie. So we're gonna try to separate out our letters here. And my extra 2 lids. All right, so you should have a bunch of chocolate chips. Hopefully, I think I lost one. Yep, I sure did. Come here, you. All right. And what I like to do is I'd like to just put these on here. I kind of start with one shape because there's different shapes in here, and just kind of randomly, like the circles, for instance. There's 4 of those, I think. And I just kind of try to get them in. I don't want it to be exactly even, but I want it to get, you know, in different places on the cookie. And same thing with these bigger pieces. And then you have a couple of little dots. And then we've got some kind of sprinkle shapes. But you know when you look at a cookie that, like, it's never as simple as just a bunch of circles. So I love these different shapes. They work really well for chocolate chips on a cookie. They work really well for sprinkles, mint chocolate chip ice cream, you name it, they're great for it. So I love this particular die. Yeah, it's retired, unfortunately. But it was the ice cream set we had, ice cream swirl or something like that. So if you want it, of course, you can try to get it maybe from somebody. I'm not giving mine up. Okay, I think I'm missing a piece. So it probably went under, because I think we should have 3 small, yep, it did. It went under here. Darn it. I was like, I thought I had another dot. I do. Don't know where I'm going to put it, but anyway, you don't want it to be too perfect, right? It needs to be a little bit of a mess. Okay. So I just try to get them spread out, basically. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my green glue and my little gummy end thing, tip. 90 in November and staying healthy. My sister had 4 surgery. I'm so glad she's finally healing, by the way. Oh, that's good. You mess up when you get ahead of the teacher? I hear ya. It happens. All right, so we're just going to add some little dots. Don't do that. I'm lucky nothing moved. Let go. So I'm just going to go through and add all of the little chocolate chips to my cookie. By the way, if you struggle with getting things to release, use this little end to hold on to it while you pull this off, because it does sometimes like to be difficult. I've got too much gummy on that end. That can help you pull it off of there better. My nose has decided to run now. Gotta love that. Oops, I put too much glue on that one. Last one. Okay, I think that was all of them. Yep, okay. So once you have all of your little guys down, that cookie is ready. All right. So we are ready now to start putting this together. So I'm going to grab the left hand page. So we'll start there. We're going to add this piece up here and then this piece here and these two over here. So we're kind of going to start with this one. This is going to be about a little more than 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to say 3/8 of an inch from the side and the top. And then this one, I also did straight. About there. And then for these two, I'm going to do this one at an angle facing to the left, very close to the edge and very close to this piece. And then this one will overlap a little bit, but I'm not going to put adhesive right there. So I'm going to put adhesive here going the opposite way. So you can see, like, I'm going to do it this way so that I can tuck a photo underneath. And then this piece will go like that. Okay. Now we need to add our sentiment here. So I have a piece of graph paper that I've added some lines to. Just hopefully you guys can see this fairly well through the on the camera. Oh, let's see. I want to grab my other one that I just cleaned off. This is it's nice and clean. All right. So yeah, I think you guys can see that better. Although it's not perfectly clean. It's already gotten dust on it. Paper dust is just wonderful, isn't it? All right, so we're gonna do 2 words here. We're gonna do sweet and then cookie. So I did use a retired die set for the sweet. I just thought it fit the particular font, was really good for this. So we're just going to add, this is kind of an italics style font, and so I'm going to actually do it at a little bit of a cant, which is harder if you're not using a grid paper. But if you use grid paper, you can actually make it work. So just kind of try to follow that cant and get everything to line up until you like it. Usually you can tell what cant it's supposed to be at from this. So this is a little bit steep, so I need to bring it up. So see how my cross on my T should be parallel with the graph. So then I know if everything else is too steep. Oh, my nose, y'all. Sorry. So glad we're all friends here. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab a piece of washi tape if I can. Pick that up. Okay, and then I'm going to do cookie. And this one will be straight. So, why are you crying, baby? My cat's crying. She probably wants to eat. She's a little early for eating, but she thinks she needs something. She starts crying like 30 minutes before it's time to eat. Do y'all's cats do that? Oh, I'm sorry, Phyllis. If you need to rest, I understand. You gotta do what you gotta do. Oops. Keep hitting my K. Hold on. Stay right there. All right. I don't know why these don't want to stay straight tonight. I think it's because they're bending up. Okay, and then I'm going to grab another piece of washi tape for that, although all my washi tape is kind of long for this, but that's okay. All right. And now we can add these. What I'm going to do, I like to kind of put this down where I think it's going to go and add these next to it and see if I like it. So I'm going to put cookie right here, like so. I didn't mean to grab that. I'll just use this part. I don't need the lid part right now. So maybe about there. And then see. Do sweet. Yeah, maybe a little higher. So something like that. So the cookie jar will be kind of in the middle of the two, and that tells me if I have it where I want it. I can move it around if I need to. Okay, so since I now have that where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and put down the cookie jar. Whoops. Just so I have that where I want it. Like so. And then I'm going to grab cookie. Ooh. Grab our silicone mat. We're going to add our glue. So I'm just going to add dots. Little dots of glue. Oh, jeez. All right. We'll add this back on here. Just like that. We'll grab our sweet, do the same thing. We're almost done. We're in the home stretch, y'all. Pop that on there. Just like that. Make sure everything connects. I'm going to let that dry for a second. Don't lose my little lid there. While that's drying, I'm going to move over here to the other side. We're going to add this piece on. It's going to come down so that it shows a little bit of the early espresso, but we kind of want to basically have like an inch between, or what is that, 3/4 of an inch between each of these pieces. This one's going to be a little bit higher, about 3/4 from the top also, and then our little chocolate chip cookie will go over here. Okay, so also what's going to go down here are these two jars. So these two jars are going to be like this, all right, down here. So I want this, like I said, to be just a little bit over, so we do see some of that early espresso. Whoops, I just dropped that on the floor. So right about there. Come back here, you. All right, we're gonna add our jar. Right about there. And our other jar. Overlapping just a little bit. The first one. And then we'll add our little lids here. with some glue. Goodness. Everything's trying to get away from me today. The same thing with this one. Just make sure it attaches like so. All right, we're gonna grab this piece. Like I said, about 3/4 of an inch from the side, and I'm noticing that this piece is actually a little bit long, so I'm going to cut that. And from the top, just like that, and then we're going to add our cookie right here. So cute. Okay, now we're going to add some of our gems. Now you can use whatever you want on this. If you don't want to use the gems, use something else, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and use the gems. So we're going to add a big and a small right here. And then either size, put one here, okay? And then over here by our chocolate chip cookie, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a big and a small together. And then a third one over here somewhere. It can be down here, wherever you want to put it. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to put it right there. Okay. Also, I have a large and a small up here. And a small over here. Okay, so we have like 9 on this sheet. So that page is totally done. We'll come back over here to this side. We'll go ahead and pull our tape off. We do try to hold them down just in case they didn't completely glue down in that time frame. Hopefully they did. Okay, we're going to add our lid. I haven't had the time to even begin mine, but once I do, I'll probably sit down and just get it done. I expect, honestly, to do it over Christmas break. Because I am just, like, we've had stuff going on, which is why I had to take a step back in August, and so I haven't had the time. And now Christmas season is hitting, so it will be crazy for me, so I won't have the time. So I'll probably just wait and do it over my Christmas break that I usually take. So, okay, so then we're going to add some more of these dots here. I've got a large one down here, another large and small up here. I've got a large and small here. And then 3, and you can do another one somewhere there too, if you want to. And I've got a large and small here, plus another large right here. So I think I must have lost one, so I probably had a small one over here or something for that one. So 9 on each sheet, basically. And that is the super cute, sweet cookie. Sweet jar didn't work, you know. Sweet cookie layout that I hope you guys really enjoyed doing. Thank you so much for being with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. You like the sweet cookie, I'm glad. And I hope you guys had a fun time with me. Make sure to be back next weekend. next week, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for more creative inspiration every one of those 4 days. So that's more than half the week. I'm so excited. Fall's going to be crazy. Cannot wait. I look forward to spending more time with you guys. Thanks so much. Love you guys. God bless.